Oppo Reno 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5, hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as today is going to be indeed a special day here for the African PMCO as we finally begin our adventure in the grand finals here for 4 days in a row, and we're going to have some great action coming your way. My name is Maxman, going to be your host and also caster for today. We're going to have another host later on. We're not going to talk about James too much. He's not here for the first 2 games. He's going to steal my Miramar later on, so we'll focus on him later. And also it's going to be you, DK, with me today, and we're going to see what's going to be happening. How are you feeling going into the finals?
Ooh, I gotta say, I'm pretty excited coming into the finals. As we know, there's a few returning teams from the previous season, a bunch of new teams making it up into the finals. So I gotta say, this is gonna be a very, very exciting few days we got ahead of us to see what the teams have in store for us.
I mean, we definitely got a lot of big names that have been doing a lot of really good overall gameplay. I'm going to put it very simply. They've been doing fantastic going into the group stage. They surprised a lot of people potentially coming into it. We've got some big names such as Gun, G3 Temper, KHK. We'll look, of course, a little bit more in depth around those teams when we do get to the time of gameplay. We can see if they can try and potentially build on what they've been able to construct into the group stage and see if they can bring that over into the finals. But of course, we're going to see how things are going to be coming on through as we're going to be looking once again at our format here for this PMCO to see how things are working out. In case you didn't quite look at the group stage, just to say the VODs are still available, so you can still catch up to date and see exactly how these teams got to this point. As a group stage, of course, we started off with 32 teams from the region, and every time we had ourselves 4 games, mixing up all the groups of Group A, B, C, and D. And now, DK, we have our top 16 teams and making it to the final stage. Every day we're going to have 4 groups and 4 games. I got to say, the fact we don't have groups is so important because now you don't have to prepare for your group all the time. Now we got a set lobby of 16 teams, which is making it for these teams so much easier to prepare.
Yeah, it makes the preparation a little bit easier. The teams now can focus a little bit more on what the teams in the finals are doing and how to best try and counteract that. But I'm really curious to see what some of the returning teams are going to do and just how they're going to try and uphold that reputation that they created for themselves in the previous season.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to build something huge into the group stage and just let it just crumble to pieces after you make it to the finals. It's still great you make it to the finals, but I got to try and push it to the next level. Try and turn it up to 11. Hopefully that's what we're going to see. Talking about 11, there is no way to get 11 points exactly if we look at the point system, but you can get yourself 12 if you take home a second place, so it's pretty close. And first place, also, you're going to be taking home that 15-pointer coming your way. And as usual, you're going to have that typical 1DK of 1 point per kill coming through. And we had some teams that were fragging out big time. I'm especially looking at G3 Temper. These guys were on fire in the group stage.
Yeah, they were really bringing in quite a bit of damage with that one kill, 1 point. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's insane. But that is essentially what we like to see is not only is there, a little bit of an importance that is tied to the placement, but that 1 point, 1 kill, that is absolutely game-changing because we've seen teams being able to bounce back so strongly if we know it's a team that's aggressive. There's definitely a good opportunity that they can, get in quite a few points just on the aggression alone.
Yeah, it's pretty insane to see if they can try and potentially build something on top of that. And if you are a team that like to go aggressive, kill points could set you heavily apart. And we saw it many times in many events. 1 kill point can go a long way and can make a really big difference, not only in how you're going to position yourself in the rankings, but also how much of the prize pool is going to be coming your way. And we're going to be looking a little bit close on the prize pool. As we said in the group stage, it hasn't changed whatsoever, so don't be too upset if it's not going any higher. It's not going to move, but it's still going to be $30,000 coming the way of these teams. And of course, as we already know, even though you did not make into the finals, if you're 17th and below, you still take home $500, which I'm not going to lie, PMCOs back in the day, back in my day, I feel like an absolute boomer right now, DK. But before, you would go out in the first 16 teams, you would not get a prize pool. You would get nothing. Now you actually get 500 minimum. I find that to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good for the scene as a whole, you know, seeing that everyone gets rewarded for making it to the stage. And as they progress into those later phases, again, the reward goes up even more so. And, you know, one of the other rewards is, of course, that the teams get to move from this on towards straight up into the PMPL. So definitely there's quite a bit of a jump that they have. And I mean, there's quite a bit at stake here as well.
It is going to be a pretty big leap forward, especially, and we said it, and I touched upon this with James, especially a few times when we were casting together. African region seems to be a little bit more secluded from the rest of the esports scene, so it's good to able to have them join some PMPLs, EMEA championships, and see how they can do on that scene, and hopefully bring a few meta tips back to their own region. That is what we're hoping to see in the very near future for this region. And of course, as always, we're going to check the schedule for how these games are going to be unfolding for today. No changes other than, as we talked about it at the start of the show, you're not going to have this group system. Now you're only going to have 16 locked in teams. They're always going to be the same in every single game, but the maps do not change here. DK was going to start off with Erangel, Sanhok, Miramar. I guess I'm not going to cast them, so whatever. And Erangel 2 is going to be the one to close it off. And as always, Erangel, if it is your best map, because you have twice more Erangels than any other map coming into this, you're going to start off with a very big advantage.
Yeah, that's definitely the map to try and build up that foundation once again. And what's going to be absolutely essential is the first day, because there's not going to be any time to waste. The teams have to come in, they have to set that bar, lay the foundations, and then just try and build upon that as they progress, not only through the matches, but also through the remaining days.
I'm just checking also on our Discord group, and I did not know that Banks could also bully me while he's not casting in live. You can also do it through written text. That's great. But with that said, I'm actually going to have James bully me in real voice chat moment, because we're going to go to a break, and he's probably going to try and tell me the word moist a few more times. So we're going to head on over to the break. You just said it right there. We're going to go to the break, and we'll be back right after this for our first game of the day.
Oppo Reno 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5, hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Game. Our producer's messing with me in my ear right before we go, okay? I'm not taking credit for that one. But once again, we are back. Thank you so much for waiting during that break, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to jump into our very first game here on the grassy pastures of Erangel for our finals here of the African PMCO. Even James is trying to mess with me a little bit as I'm trying to do my job over here, but they're not allowing me to do it properly. But also don't forget that the entirety of this PMCO is brought to you by Nimo TV, the official media partner of PUBG Mobile Pro League in 2021. And also, we are born to win. Welcome to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gaming mode on with a much loved Renault 5 series here, and we're going to see exactly how our first game of the day is going to go. But we should have a graphic pop up in just a few seconds here, looking at the teams that did indeed make it into our finals to see exactly what we're working with here. And right off the bat, you're going to see that you have some teams here, some big names that we're expecting to do great. DK, of course, G3 Tempo being one that comes to mind, as they can just get yourself 3 wins in a day. This team can be very scary, knowing you only have 4 days of play ready.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a bit of pressure coming into the finals here. We do have the players there from Slime 4KT also returning, looking to hold on to the title of the PMCO Africa winners. So, yeah, expecting some pretty tough gameplay to come in. And as I've pointed out, also these new teams that we have joining in that we didn't see in last season, already coming through the group stages. They've been showing quite a bit of potential, a really decent amount of aggression and strong gameplay. And moving into the finals, this is where it's going to get so interesting to see whether or not they're going to be able to apply that and continue through with that momentum.
Of course, yeah, building momentum into the group stage and now going into this event of the finals is definitely what you're trying to achieve. And we'll see if things are going to be working out. But also, while we had the graphic pop up for a few seconds and we did see that there were some teams that were maybe at least one team that was missing to the party, and that is Liquid Diamonds. Unfortunately, Liquid Diamonds were disqualified after the group stage and will not be making it to the finals. And because of that, another team has been allowed to make it to the finals, and that is Mezexis Esports Africa, which I'm not going to lie, DK, it's great to see this team make it. I think that they must have been pretty salty of not being able to make it, but now they do make it into the finals, and we'll see what they can bring to the table. They got themselves only 1 win in the group stage, and I think that they could be a very big surprise and upset a few of the teams at the top.
Yeah, I mean, they did really bring in an absolutely amazing performance in that final day, bringing in a grand total of 50 points, the third highest, just behind Mezexis and, of course, the players there from FEINTED. So, yeah, no surprise to have them in here. It's going to be a pretty good run to see what they're going to bring. And I'm excited to see what this first initial Erangel has in store for us, because I look back at what we had in the past season in the previous finals, day one. Mm-hmm. And we saw a really strong, consistent performance, especially coming out from the side of Guns. So I'm curious to see whether or not we're going to have that consistency push all the way through, or could we potentially see a team like FEINTED or even Rila Insiders or Lag Esports surprise us and just bring in an absolutely crazy performance?
Wait, you said Lag Esports surprise us. They're not going to surprise me. I already told you, man. I love this team. They're doing great. I'm a little bit biased, but that's fine. From time to time, it's okay to be a little bit biased. But yeah, I think that some teams can definitely come into this and surprise a lot of the teams at the top. We'll see how things are going to be working out. The playing path, not too bad. Phase 1 circle has a potential being relatively annoying for a lot of these teams. There's quite a bit of water in play, so this is basically an unofficial Phase 2 circle. And also, Young Thunder are going to be holding onto the bridge side. So no one's going to have to cross over military Island Bridge, so they're going to be pretty chappy about this one. So this phase 1 here, DK, should be relatively chill.
Yeah, it could be potentially quite chill, as you point out there. But I'm curious to see, though, whether or not we're going to have any teams rotating down on towards that Sosnovka military island. There's a lot of potential there. I mean, as we look at it, it's still completely open. The only team that we see pretty much close to that point for the time being is the players there from Young Thunder. So I'm curious to see where they're going to try and rotate, how they're going to go about it, and, you know, potentially bring in a bit of a sneak attack. But also up in South George, I mean, it is looking pretty contested there.
A little bit. So you're going to have yourself Slime 4KT, which, to be completely honest here, DK, remember back from the last PMCO, they haven't changed. They drop there all the time. So they're going to be pretty happy to see that one come to fruition and once again see if they can try and make something out of it. With this kind of circle, the rotations should be relatively easy. So we'll see how things are going to be building up on top of that. And Aphelion Apex got himself a widespread, really good position control over in Gatka/Gatka field. So in terms of loot, that's great. But the only thing that I'm asking from the likes of Aphelion Apex is for them to not stay split too long. If a team tries to rotate early and you take it into a 1v4, and I've seen that many times, even in the PMGC, even in the PMWI and PMWL, it is not going to work out. So I'm happy with Aphelion Apex committing to a drop like that, but don't stick to it too long. Though, DK, it's been 3 days since we last talked because we had ourselves PMCO, and we know we're only friends on broadcast. Outside of broadcast, I absolutely hate your guts. How you been the last few days, man? What have you been up to?
Hey man, it's been pretty good. You know, just sitting here watching some PUBG action. Trying to get myself back into the game a little bit more, just trying things out.
Ooh.
Realizing once again that I'm just a bot, dying quite a lot. So
that makes 2 of us.
Yeah.
Wait, we should duo, man. I don't know why we haven't played duo yet.
Yeah, we got to do it. I mean, even we could also try and add Banks into the mix. You know, he can be the support.
Yeah, but you know, James. He's gonna be like, "Ha, moist rotation jumps in water. Ha, funny, very good, yes." But yeah, no, it'll be good. We'll go as a trio, and if you guys also in the chat want to join us, feel free to ask. We might get a view or 2 inside our games, so you can carry us. We need someone to carry us eventually, because as we know, casters can't be good at video games. That is the unofficial rule. If you ever thought of being a caster, I don't know, chop a hand off or something, but you got to be bad, and then you might have a chance. We'll see how this is going to work out. Team Lag already going to be starting to go onto the move. They were already into the circle is how they dropped, but they're looking for that push onto Young Thunder. The Romeo is completely split away from the rest of his team, but luckily enough, remains undetected and is not moving an inch.
It's a really an interesting spread coming out there from Young Thunder. We see Superior and Romeo holding on to this side of the map, and on the opposite end of the bridge, True and No Recoil, they've already made that rotation across. But I'm curious to see whether or not they're going to try and strike into the side of Lag, but because I'm pretty sure that Romeo has communicated that information across.
Man, Romeo has still 3 days to go, and he still hasn't found his Julie. I don't know what to tell you, man. Though I would love to have more esports teams in PUBG Mobile. It doesn't matter of the region or whatever PMCO event you're playing into, but actually have cool name combinations and team names that go with it. I think I already mentioned this on show, like Teletubbies, and have all the 4 players called Teletubbies. I think that would be really funny, personally. Or like have one just based around Pokemon, and you have like Squirtle, just the entire roster. I think I would like to see more of those, but there you go. That's just me being a boomer, wanting things I know potentially will not happen anytime soon. What would be your fun team name combination you would like to have?
Ooh.
Do you have one?
Like I was thinking
for you, Ninja Turtle. I thought you might like that, but I'm not sure.
No, maybe like
no?
Yeah, like Pokemon maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Like a Squirtle, Pikachu, Charizard, and bring in a little bit of Bulbasaur as well. I mean, the original 4.
I thought you forgot his name, and the green things. Nobody picks him. Nobody. I mean, some people do like him. They're typically hardcore fans of him, but we'll see. We'll see if Bulbasaur might get picked up at some point. Yeah, Drogons also going to go for their drop into school/apartment. So far, they got himself back as a 4-man into apartment. So relatively chill. And this is what we were really expecting, right, DK? Because we don't have these groups of teams mixing up all the time. Now you can really well prepare as your job, how you're going to rotate. You had time to do research, especially at these last 3 days where you were not playing, maybe doing scrims, which is great, but you should not try and put too much pressure on your shoulders. Just take a little bit of time to relax. So not losing a single player at this stage on Erangel, especially, and this is the map that's the most played. I'm not surprised, and it just goes to show that there's been a lot of time spent by these players, teams, even potentially analysts/coaches, if they do have some, that have been working tirelessly to try and make sure that they have the best chance possible going into this PMCO. Because don't forget, after this PMCO, there's a chance to take it right into the EMEA Championship Season 2. And that is definitely something you want to go for, because that's where some of the best teams in the West currently play. So whichever team makes it over there, last time it was Slime 4KT, would have a huge opportunity to not only get some prize pool and reconnaissance on the international stage, but also being able to learn and improve in the long run.
Yeah, recognition is always an important thing, but I'm curious to see though what the side of the Drogons are going to be doing. I mean, coming up through group stages, they really brought in a strong performance. Last season they were also in the finals. They finished up in 6th place. So I'm curious to see whether or not how much they've actually improved since the previous season. Because already just looking at the group stages, I was already pretty impressed with what I've saw there. But now moving into today, I'm curious to see how the teams are going to play this. And already looking at the map, we've got quite a convergence coming into that more centralized region of the zone. So I think we're in for a pretty rough ride here today.
I think so. I agree. I think it's also a very good idea from a lot of these teams to centralize towards Gatka Fields, especially the south of Gatka Fields, because of the circle. You have a lot of water in the south. If I was in this game, right, and I was trying to predict where phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 would be going towards, I would expect it to go towards the south side of Gatka Fields. I think that makes a lot of sense, and that's why you're seeing so many teams concentrate around that location, because it makes sense, and you're trying to predict the circle algorithm and how it's going to react to this type of terrain. So I think this is a really good call from these teams trying to set themselves up for success before the circle actually even pops. And talking about the circle, is about to shift once again. We're in phase 0 right now, which is pretty weird, but don't worry, we're actually in phase 1. I'm going to be going into the phase 2 just a bit. We'll see if the number's actually going to be updating. And it should be shifting right now. We're not going to see on the minimap right now. It should be shown on the stream hopefully soon. But the circle did indeed go away from Military Island back onto the mainland. Gatka Fields still in play. Northern Fear also, which, as we said, DK, you could very easily predict. So now teams are pretty much needing to do almost nothing because they're already in the circle.
Yeah, and again, this is where it is absolutely important for teams to try and reposition, or rather just find a strong position within the zone already. The Drogons, they've done exactly that. They've taken occupation of the compound pretty close to center zone. We do see quite a few teams still just up ahead, and I'm liking this sheer amount of rotation we see coming in. So many teams in such close proximity. I mean, even Power now taking hit after hit, getting a beautiful knock on towards him, and he was trying to hold on to that one. Blessing from Aphelion Apex, just absolutely on point with that AK-47, and I'm expecting this zone to get pretty crazy. Just looking at where these teams are positioned, and we don't have that many teams actually still on those outlying regions. Center zone is where it is. It's the place to be, and I'm liking this initiative actually coming in from the teams.
The only area I would say where it would be okay to play edge would be the west, where you got some nice hilltops, high grounds to scout from, even potentially Pachinki Hill over to the east, even though I do think that teams now predicted is not going to go there. The information is not going to be great because there's so many teams around us. It's still hard to predict. So I understand why teams are not committed to Pachinki Hill. I think it would still be a good opportunity to go there. But otherwise, the west would be best. And we're seeing one team being over there. Actually, potentially even 2 others currently on the northwestern side. So there's still something to play around. We'll have to see. But currently, we do see that FEINTED did suffer some casualties. So not the best start for them. And I would say when you're looking at FEINTED ADK, a team that started off very poorly, a team that I think I was relatively harsh on because there was a lot of micro mistakes. Lack of synergy, communication, engaging one by one, giving free kills over to the opponent. Their last 2 days of play in the group stage were completely different. And James pointed out one too, that this team felt really different from what they did on their first day of play.
Yeah,
I want to see that build into something new into these finals. If they play back on what they did in day 1, finals is over. Like, they're not going to win that way. Their last 2 days, they play on that level. I'm going to say top 5 could be an eventuality later on down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree with you on that. Just looking at that, the turnaround they brought coming from day 1 to day 2, insane stuff. I mean, there's a 54-point difference between their first day performance and that second day performance. So yeah, I gotta agree. The potential 5th position for them in the leaderboard, it is definitely a thing. So I'm curious to see just whether or not they're going to be able to apply that moving into these games. They've obviously recollected themselves. They know what strategies they want to try. And now they just got to bring it.
Bring it home. We'll see. Unlike the UK trying to bring back the EU Cup of Football, we'll see. Otherwise, this one might come home. Vile gives himself a nice headshot. Really clean connection onto Verox. But that's going to be a Resda wall coming through unless they want to fully commit. But that's not typically something that Blackjack would like to do. They're typically a very calculated team. Take things really slow. Get yourself a knock. That's great. Take away a few resources of the opposing side on Mezexis. And then you'll see if it can build into something grander later on. Rila Insider also going to be into Quarry itself. Got to be careful how you want to rotate away. Eastern side into RRAGE will be a little bit tricky, but you might have to make that rotation actually come to fruition as it heads towards Ferry Pier / Primorsk / Quarry. And center of the circle, I would say, was pretty much unplayable here. It's just flat terrain. You want to avoid it as much as possible unless the circle shifts there a few times in a row in the next few phases.
Yeah, and now again, we're going to be seeing all the teams just trying to push in a little bit closer to that coastal line. And, I mean, the edge of Primorsk could actually be a decent position to be in.
Oh, the hilltop. Yeah.
Yeah, just that hilltop just outside of Primorsk. That could be a really, really decent spot to be in because you know that you've got the zone behind you and just the sheer vastness up ahead. So I'm curious to see if we'll have any team potentially trying to rotate in because currently this eastern edge of zone is looking absolutely insane.
That's why we have you on. I didn't even think about that position, but that's why you're here, right? You complete me, DK. You think of things I never even just thought about. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That's me talking nicely about you for that's the quote of the day. That's enough. I'm just gonna be trash talking you the rest. Just clip it, put it in your like Twitter bio or something, and people just click. I would expect it to be a Rickroll, to be honest, but hey, never know. Might work out. Oh no, Mercury got a little bit too far. That's going to be allowing him to get instantly picked up. Jenny connects the headshot, and that's going to be 1 kill over to Team Alag. Mezexis now at least got the information. They're not going to send the entire team forward. That is why you send a player forward to scout a little bit more. Make sure you don't lose the entire team. But now they're just going to be a little bit close to each another. They are in nade range, so it does seem like Mezexis might have a plan of overtaking this bunker position away from Lag, but I would not really recommend it. This is not too easy to push.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these positions are fairly difficult to pull off successfully, and it is going to be an absolute challenge. And we see the teams scattered throughout. I mean, over on this eastern side, we got the players here from Mezexis, we got Lag, we got Young Thunder, and Blackjack behind them. A little bit further onto that southern side, we've got the players here from RRAGE as well as KHK. So there's so many points of contention here, and it's going to be a bloodfest for these teams to try and secure a decent position. But I also think we're going to be seeing a lot of these teams succumbing, especially in their rotations.
I'm surprised you actually got two teams playing somewhat central, at least in the central part from the west to the east, which is where currently you see Mezexis and even Team Lag play. Team Lag makes a lot more sense because they are playing in a bunker position. But Mezexis seem like they are going to be trying their luck out and see if this position is going to be worthwhile in the long run. Slime 4KT also going to go for a relatively slow rotation. Once again, this is a team we have not seen play into the group stage. They might have completely changed their way of things. DK, they might be a completely different team. They might have a different approach to circles, different approach to fighting also. So, unfortunately for the other teams, there's a lot of VODs available that Slime 4KT could have watched and now fully prepare for, which is not the case for the other teams. They are looking at Slime 4KT and seeing this as a big question mark. What does this team do? How have they evolved in the past few months?
Yeah, and I mean, Slime 4KT, they have that additional bit of experience as well, participating in the EMA. So I'm hoping to see that kind of come into the gameplay. I want to see them put what they've learned there to good use. And I mean, there's so much opportunity here with all the teams still in play. We still have all 16 teams alive. The numbers slowly starting to dwindle, but everyone is still here, still represented. Even the players here from Team Somalia coming in with a very late rotation, holding on to the blue. I mean, Kingerman, he is so far up in the blue, eventually succumbs to that blue itself, and now it's up to the rest of, well, essentially El Chapo. Now he needs to try and make this play work out.
Okay. Come on, like maybe Storm can be a little bit toxic sometimes, but it's not worth coming just rolling on top of him. Jeez, leave the guy alone. He's done nothing wrong. Mezexis trying to move away. Seemed like Lag definitely want a piece of that cake. Zerk did get knocked down, so that's going to slow this approach. Mezexis got to be a little bit careful also on how they're doing things. Verox did also get taken down, so that's 2 players down for their team. Having to move away completely, and we did see this big circle shift. Pretty good for the likes of G3. One team just being very opportunistic, and I'm loving is RRAGE. They're going right for the hilltops currently. They are getting contested, as you can currently see in the kill feed, but RRAGE are going for the game-winning position right now.
Yeah, and I mean, the heat is on. This is now do or die time. This is where you got to put in that strong play, try to potentially dominate. And I mean, with 16 teams still alive, it is going to be an absolute challenge to try and get that right. But just the position we have, especially for the players there, for instance, from the Drogons and Rila Insider, looks pretty tough. But 4KT, they're holding on. They want to try and push their way back up into zone, even if they have to try and push straight through El Chapo, who fortunately for 4KT, he's only one player. So if they find that one well-placed nade, that could be the quickest way back into zone.
Yeah, really good nade cooked just above that rock. If he was there, that would have been a very dead El Chapo, but he's able to crawl away in just a nick of time. A few more teams right down south of their location. That's going to be KHK Esports that also did do relatively well. I'm seeing relatively well. They did really well coming into the group stage, right? They got himself 3rd place, total of 136 points out of 12 games, which is a very, very good average point per game. But we'll see if that's going to be enough, as Young Thunder are going to be suffering big casualties, big damage. Also, No Recoil and True are going to be the only 2 remaining players. but they're struggling to make it a little bit further away, as now they're looking to potentially gatekeep the rest of lag outside in the blue. The blue is yet far, far, far away from their position, as they're going to try and attempt a res onto Berserk, which I think could be a risk. True, all no recoil, could get himself a nice slick nade, but apparently they're not going to fully commit to it. They're going to remain in their own blanket of unknown with these smokes.
But this is where the players from Young Thunder need to be so careful, because we do see the team there from KHK also moving in right behind them. So one false move could spell a very abrupt end for them. And we saw the players there from Team Somalia now getting sent right back into the lobby as well. So 14 teams remain, but this is that good awareness coming in from Young Thunder. No recoil, paying attention to both what's in front and behind him, and he is able to ward off a potential push coming in from Chairбot.
I think that they just have to pay attention, right? They're pinched between two incredibly talented teams, so you don't want to make one mistake, one mishap, well, otherwise that might just be you're dead on your conscience. You're death on your conscience? I mean, I guess I don't know. We'll have to see. G3, Circle coming their way, got himself the compound still in play. This is not an easy one, but if I were G3, DK, I would regroup. Buden is currently very far away, and you know there's going to be so many teams attempting to breach this position. You need to be close, right on top of each another. As we're going to be seeing also, Insider going to be taking their very own fight, but they're going to be picked up one by one as Drogons are starting off an absolute bloodbath of a game, potentially, as 2 kills already go their way.
Oh man, it is going to be a pretty tough play, whichever way this zone pops. And yeah, the zone's sitting all the way over towards the eastern side. The players here from Rila Insider now just trying to get a lay of the land. But you pointed this out before. This rotation out of Quarry is going to be such a challenge for them to try and pull off. But a beautiful spray coming in from J Rollers straight up in towards Leonidas, opening up the way back into zone. Blackjack also not coming under a little bit of pressure there, as the players from Aphelion Apex puts a quick halt to their gameplay in this match. But now 4KT, they're still holding on, sitting over on towards that far western side. The rotations slowly starting to make their way on in. An influence rage going right up against MZR, and wow, MZR really feeling the brunt of that pressure.
That was a really good push. They were so spread, yet so close to each other, really able to get so maximum coverage in this position. Only one player of MZR Esports is going to be remaining, and he has yet to be really spotted out by the rest of Influence Rage Africa. And he might be forgotten about completely, as Zedek's going to be leaving. They only got some knocks right now, which I'm surprised actually feeling so confident moving away. Oh, that nade from Vindex. He has an idea. He sees that car. Maybe it's going to be a banger. And that nade looking pretty clean. I do believe maybe got a little bit of damage down, but doesn't know it just yet. And he did take actually a pretty severe beating. LBX down to not 1%. What am I saying? 50%. I know my math is not good, but not that bad. Come on. Does have to move out, but now INF going to send their way closer to Aphelion Apex. Now this is a fight that's raring to go.
Oh, it's going to be pretty tough. But now, I mean, Aphelion Apex already looking pretty decent. Sitting on 8 kills. They are going to be looking to maintain the momentum. INF just up ahead. Hainsley about to get caught by that nade. Up it comes. Yes! Right on point. Surly now just trying his utmost best. Trying to fight it off in any direction. And man, the heat is on.
I like how you said, yes, you're very biased for Aphelion Apex, aren't you? We'll see as INF do get taken out of this game in 12th place, only 11 teams. Man, Aphelion Apex already got himself 11 kills. Did I see that right? Are my eyes playing a trick on me? 11 kills and you still have 11 teams in this lobby? They could get 20 kills in this game. The 20-point bomb could be happening. As Stan's going to be jumping over that wall. That's no idea on Plaza being right there. And that's going to be it for Drogons as they get eliminated. And Gun still have Plaza remaining, but he's trying to move forward in the smoke. And unfortunately, I don't see a world where he makes it out alive.
It's going to be a really tough one. I don't think... Yep, there we go. Blue Zone catches up with Plaza, but a really good effort coming in from both Gun and the Drogons so far. Now, it is up to the final 9 teams to try and push in. Currently, the north is pretty open, but it's going to be so tough to get a decent positioning within that. G3 still holding on to the southern edge. Trying to spray up in all directions. J-Roller up ahead. Oh, just barely on the edge of that zone. Down he goes. Buden absolutely on point with the spray. But now KHK right here alongside them.
This is so tricky. There's so many good entry points in the compound that KHK currently hold on to. You got so many angles. If you put yourself in a wrong spot, one door could cause your absolute demise, which is what happened to Jebot. Has got picked up, but hopefully he's going to get rezzed by the rest of his team in the nick of time. Though this is a really good play from G3. I talked about it. You don't want to play too spread. You want to regroup. Sure, they did lose 6 God, but they still got Flacco, Buden, and Gunner, which is definitely some big names when it comes to the African scene. So you want to try and remain as that 3-man for as long as humanly possible. But the circle did move away a little bit from that compound, so now teams are going to have to shift, and that could be relatively hard as that grenade is looking good. But Gunner sees it, moves away in the other building, and dodges it just in time.
Oh, that one, I don't know. Oh, yep, that was a bit of a dud being thrown out right there. KHK running into their own grave, but this could be a beautiful opportunity actually for G3 now to strike, as they do have control of that compound, but 4KT in the meanwhile getting pushed by Aphelion Apex. They come rushing in, but Cole, he's not going to let them go by just yet. He's going to try and pick up that spray on towards Stoney.
Wait, where's the rest of the team? Why are you sending it two by two? Yeah, there you go. Send the cavalry. The cavalry must come up. Stoney gets picked away. Now you have 2 more players. This would have been such a good breach, but unfortunately, do not use the man advantage. They do make it a trade at the very end. Still got himself 3. Stoney could have a chance of getting brought back in this game. Nade exchange from below. Boom, that's looking like a banger, and it does indeed bang into the face of Kage. Aimer, can you make a huge name for yourself once again in this event? We'll have to see. He's got to res up though. Slow HP, 1 bullet connect once again. And Storm is going to be picked up, and that's it for Slime 4KT. The end of their game, and 16 kills for Aphelion Apex here, GK.
Wow.
The 20-point game is just a few points away. It could be huge for them.
Well, that was absolutely insane. But speaking about insane, we've got KHK and G3 now fighting it out, duking it out for control of the compound. Up they come, trying to clear the floor, but Louis now just trying to spray anything and everything that moves. Buden with a nice play in the window. Ooh, comes inside, but Louis is just so on point with the spray. Manages to close it up, and 7 comfortable kills now for KHK.
Only big names are still up in this one. Aphelion Apex, of course, team that maybe didn't start off this best way in the group stage, but they did end strongly. And now upwards already 16 points in kills alone if they get himself the win. We might just have a 20-point bomb happen this finals. Not this game. This game is just a little bit short for them, but there is an eventuality of seeing that happen with this rule set that's been present for like a year now, which is still mental to think about. LBX hasn't got spotted away. KHK got himself the reses, back as a 3-man, and they're trying to close up around the rest of Aphelion Apex that did get back up as a 4-man crew. They're trying to take so much control in the circle. This is the game-winning play from Aphelion Apex.
Yeah, definitely could be. I mean, there's really a good chance for them to still break that 20 bomb in this game. As you can see, the grenades, the mollies, everything now getting sent over. They're trying to find that knock up in towards MZR. But IBX, he's just holding on for dear life. Stoney, just so relentless in his efforts, trying to send those mollies, and he finds the first one. IBX having to reposition. Will he be able to get out of that pressure spot? I mean, he's got to be so careful, because right behind him, we see Lag and KHK. So this is going to be an absolute tough one. Up comes, Aphelion Apex. Sicko flies on in, and they pick up the 17th, 18th kill. What?
I think Sicko forgot his seatbelt there for a second.
Yeah.
He was just propelled forward there. Man, 18... No, sorry, 17. You said 18, but they're 17.
Yeah,
17 right now. A little bit short, unfortunately, I do believe, on the potential 20 kill point game. We'll have to see as Blessing spotted away. That smoke is not going to allow you to dodge those bullets of Jebot. This guy is deadly and will take you down given the chance. Berserk, that's an angle that Aphelion Apex don't seem really prepared for. He gets up, those smokes dissipate, and that could be a big upset again in Aphelion Apex. As we still have 3 teams in play, KHK Esports, Team Lag, and the good old Aphelion Apex with still 3 players remaining.
I mean, you gotta say though, Jebot, he's just lying in wait. He's waiting for Berserk to budge. He's got his scope right there, trained on that exact position. Up comes the spray though. Jebot gets it. Oh, down goes Flexen as well. KHK now up against the players here from Aphelion Apex. It is a pretty tough play. Apex sitting on 2 players. It is Stoney and Kage trying to make this work. Now, will they be able to bring it in though? A 3v3 fight to the finish.
Get the res. You need Sicko. You need Sicko to take this 3v3. And KHK, this is a really good setup. They're going a little bit wider. They're going a little bit spread, which is great. They want to have as much land coverage as possible. Good grenade. Get pretty close. Explodes in the air. Fortunately, a little bit too cooked, apparently. Aizu's going a little bit further away. Stoney, exactly, really good player to get himself into the vehicle, get himself a little bit of an above perspective above that smoke. But if the smoke dissipates, you got to jump out. Otherwise, that's an instant kill coming away of KHK. Going for it. That's a huge nade. That's one. That's a double coming in. That's a one-on-one trade. They're just going for the spray, unfortunately, aimlessly. And they still play onto the side, trying to go for the spray once again into the car right above those smokes. But Lewis is closing up that gap closer and closer. You got to jump out of that car. Stoney does in time, as Jebot does not have the time to strike. But this is so down to the wire, DK. 2v2, potentially 2v3 if Kage comes back in. But Stoney has now a mission, and he is going out.
Man, this could be either a 13 kill finish or a 20 kill finish because there's 2 players remaining. That's it.
Oh.
And it is now down to the wire. Apex, they've got all their players back up. Kage, probably about to pop a bit of a med there. Not quite sure. He is fairly low on health.
He saw him. Yeah, he saw that pixel. He saw the pixel. I knew it. There you go. Connects it. That's another one. Kage did get rest up, though. So he got himself the first aid. It is still a 2v2. There's still a chance of this team of Aphelion Apex actually coming out with a 20-kill bomb, which I have not seen in months, and I truly mean month. And this might be the team to make it happen in the African region. Oh, big shot coming in. That's Sicko connecting it with the M16 at that. Only one player. They're going straight for the confirm. They want those 20 kills right now. Jebot, can you take the 1v2 clutch and take this game, ruin the hopes and dreams of Aphelion Apex in this first game of the African PMCO finals?
I mean, like, this is where Apex needs to utilize their numbers. They need to push up as a unit, move up together. None of that 1-1 stuff, because Jebot will be able to pick that apart with ease. Now, Kage, Sicko, it is up to them. The pressure is on their shoulders. I mean, this is going to be an absolute insane start to the day.
He didn't see him. He didn't see it. There was a helmet. He was peeking over. Got the intel. That's one of the Kage. Sicko gets it. Got the intel, but still can't spot him down. And he gets picked away. And that will be the 20 kill point game unlocked by Aphelion Apex on the very first game of these finals. What an absolute banger here, DK, to start off the day. Aphelion Apex, we said it started off slowly. They built up into the group stage, and now they're at the culminating point, and they are going to slap you so hard if you go against them in the finals, man. They are absolutely shredding it.
Man, that is absolutely insane. In this one match, they just doubled the points that they were able to accumulate on their last day of group stage. That is absolutely insane. 35-pointer. The last day of group stage, they brought in 32 points for the whole day. I mean, like, what? This is insane. What a way to start it off.
I don't have words for that, man. I was expecting just a slow way to ease into the finals, but no, man. We're going right into it, right into the action, but that is what we love to see, of course, in this PMCO. We're going to have to, of course, look at the overall points won by these teams in this very first game of the day. And as you said, ADK, quick math, 35 points for Aphelion Apex. What a way to kickstart your adventure here in the African PMCO finals. KHK, though, still going to get himself a relatively strong performance. I mean, I say relatively. It is still 23 points in the game without a win. It's still really strong, but it's just completely blew out of the water by Aphelion Apex, getting 35 points. So that's something to keep in mind. And Team Lag also pretty good in their overall points, connecting themselves 13. And after that, it's still good points for the rest of the lobby, right, in the very first game. But Aphelion Apex here, they are making a statement that they are going for that EMEA championship spot.
Yeah, I mean, they came into this match just absolutely swinging it. And it's so beautiful to watch. And I mean, we could have a bit of an upset coming into the top of that leaderboard, you know? They could be potentially, you know, they've got their eyes set on that spot. So it's going to be so interesting to see how the rest of the day is going to go as we move on to that second page. It's not really looking too ideal just yet, but again, it does still kind of fall in place with what we saw in first season. So not too much of a surprise on the second page.
Yeah, though, of course, you can keep in mind you got teams like Gun, Blackjack Esports. They did do really well coming into the group stage. Not the best start, but it's just one game, right? At the end of the day, one game could go badly from time to time. That is completely okay. And also FEINTED AF that maybe didn't start off the best way into the group stage. But don't forget that after that first day, they completely changed their approach to the game. So I am not going to go against them on that one. I think that FEINTED AF could still bring some great performances on our next games today. And talking about next game, our next one is going to be Sanhok. So if you want to check out the Sanhok game of Game 2 for today, stick around. We'll be back right after this break.
Oppo Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
And we're back once again. Thank you so much for waiting. An absolutely amazing kick off to the day here in our African PMCO finals as none other than Aphelion Apex not only take home the win, but also take home a 20-kill bomb, which we talked about it with James during the break. Also, he was saying a bunch of moist, but that is something on the side. But he did also mention that we have not seen a 20-kill game in ages. Even in the European PMPL, we haven't seen a single one during that entire month of play, which is pretty nuts to think about, DK, especially when it's just the very first game. It does seem like Aphelion Apex had a few extra tricks that they had hidden up their sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, that was a stellar performance of note. And I mean, that is setting the bar pretty high. So I'm hoping that it was not just like a once-off thing, that is going to be the momentum that they're going to try and carry through not only today's games. I mean, if that was something that they would be able to do consistently, that would be absolutely amazing, insane, like whatever fancy words you can throw in there, throw them in, because that would just be mind-blowing. But you know, moving into this match, this is where it is now time to prove yourself once again. This is where the teams need to step up and bring that in. And I mean, if we look back, you know, historically speaking, this is a match in which Gun placed in third. They finished third the last time we were here, coming in with 9 kills. So I'm going to be looking to see whether or not they'll be able to replicate a kind of performance like that. But I'm also open to any of the new teams coming in to just, you know, amaze us like Apex did now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that's what we're going to be seeing, because you mentioned this a few times at the start of the show and even before the show when we were just chatting beforehand. 7 teams from the last finals of the African PMCO that would be able to spring split made it back into this full split season. So it is going to show that you still got these teams, these group of players and individuals that are still dominating in the African region right now. And typically, if you have a region that has different teams always in the finals, it goes to show that there's maybe not meta or there's no top teams right now. You have that in the African region, which is great to see, showing that there's definitely a group at the top that is leading the pack forward. But now we can see in these finals, it's once again, that is going to be the case. And if these teams are going to remain the top of the leaderboards at the end, Gun, we'll see if that could be the case, as you just mentioned about them. Maybe a little bit of a tricky one this time around on that first game, but we'll see how things are going to work out in game 2 over here on Sanhok, especially. Do you have any teams in mind on Sanhok? Do you like thinking maybe they can do well? Slime 4KT, I think, would be pretty well versed on this map, but are there any others that really come to mind for you?
KHK and the Drogons, because if we look back again, like I keep on comparing to what we saw last season. You know, KHK and Drogons, the last season, in the first match, they ended up in 16th and 15th place. This match won, they finished in 2nd and 10th overall. Absolutely insane. So hopefully that continues on. I mean, they've definitely shown a lot of growth, a lot of evolution coming in from the previous season. So yeah, I've got some pretty high hopes going into this one. And who knows, maybe they might surprise us and even outperform what we could be expecting.
Hey, hopefully. I want to see Team RRAGE do really well into this one. I like their aggressive nature. I like how they took good control in positions. This last game was maybe a little bit harder for them because they also had so many things to try and play around and see if that was going to work out for them. We'll have to see. But of course, we'll have to see as I'm reconnecting. There you go. Normally you can hear me once again, DK. It should be fine. Welcome again. But Yeah, as I said, it was many teams that I hope to do well, but RRAGE is the one that's coming to mind, as I like to see. Hopefully, their last game, they had a little bit of a tricky rotation away from the quarry position. Hopefully, things are going to be working out this time around. So we'll see, as we are just about to jump once again, ladies and gentlemen, into our game 2 of the day. We'll see exactly how things are going to be working out this time around. And don't forget, as always, we are indeed born to win. Welcome to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with a much-loved Reno 5 series. Game 2, Sanhok is now going to be on board. We're going to go back to the moist map, I guess I'm going to say it this time around. I'm going to lean into it a little bit more, but here we go. Game 2 is now underway.
There we go. That's just the way you got to do it. You know, you got to emphasize the moistness as we move in. And I got to say, this is going to be a really, really interesting match to see what the players are going to have in store for us. Already the flight path coming in from all the way towards Hatin, making its way all the way down over towards Sami. So it is a little bit more of a western flight path. But as we know, Sanhok flight path doesn't matter too much. What's more important is, of course, what that first initial zone is going to be doing. And I'm expecting the teams to be moving into their general positions where you normally see them move into. But I'm curious to see, though, how they're going to try and adapt once that first initial zone pops.
Yeah, we'll have to see, of course, if teams are going to be maybe committing to those positions. Of course, one thing that never changes, once again, is going to be the Slime 4KT drop. They're going to go into the good old boot camp position. And no one, and I truly mean no one, wants to mess up with the Slime 4KT roster in that position. So they're going to avoid them as much as humanly possible. Northern side, though, Aphelion Apex going to go for a little bit of a spread potentially towards Mong Nai, but they are not going to be colliding with INF anytime soon. So far, I'm not seeing any big hot drops. There could be a little bit of action happening towards Cave. Other than that, we should be good in the hood this time. And hopefully, just like last game, have no teams die and no players die, especially for the first few minutes, so we can have a very good mid-game stage.
Well, yeah, the pressure is definitely on, and already right out of the gate, the players there from FEINTED have a little bit of opposition rather, moving in their direction. INF right here alongside Aphelion Apex. This could be game on. Blessin seems to be a little bit isolated. The rest of the team dropping closer on towards Mong Nai. So I'm curious to see whether or not Blessin is going to wait till reinforcements arrive. But also it depends on Hainsley. This could be the opportunity for Hainsley to put a little bit of a halt to the advance there of the players from Aphelion Apex.
Yeah, I remember, of course, was James, every time we were casting the African PMCO for the spring split, Hainsley was a name that we would scream to the top of our lungs almost every opportunity we had. This guy on an individual, personal level is just so talented. And when it comes to 1v1, it does seem that a lot of people would put the odds in his favor, especially because I can see on his back, he has a DBS plus an M4. That is some extremely good luck he just had. Compared to on the other side, I believe I saw Blessing was a UMP, which, of course, when it comes to damage output against potential weapons like this, could be a little bit blown out of the water. So we'll have to see how things are going to be working out. But it seems like they don't want to go for the push. They're going to let it calm down. Not going to go for the fight because it is clearly not worth it right now. But man, I still can't believe that last game, though, DK. A 20-kill bomb in our first one. Like, that's going to be setting up expectations for a lot of these teams as, okay, this is finals now. We need to step it up just like Aphelion Apex did in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this could be the game to try and push that. You know, it's like, I don't know what's going to happen, who's going to be the team to step it up, and it is anyone's game coming into the second match. And hoping to see a bit of consistency come through. Definitely the teams, aside from Aphelion Apex, are going to be looking to bring back a strong defense. And now, INF already finding 2 knocks in towards Apex. Oh, this could maybe be where we see Apex getting sent back early.
Don't take too long, though. You know your res is going to come out. You want to push it quickly as possible. I like that from Inspector, but you need the team to go with you. Right now, you're going solo. I don't like this. This is bad. This is bad. Don't. Calm down. Calm down, Inspector. Let them join you. There you go. Sully, Vinex are joining up. Potentially chuck a nade or two. Get some smokes. Try and clear out some angles. That's what we want to try and make work out. Sick on a little bit further back. I like that position, especially with that third-person perspective. That could be big. One nade, one molly. In that right little position. Could have been good. Unfortunately, no one is hiding there. Everything's getting chucked back and forth. The entirety of Influence RRAGE Africa are now closing that gap. They're using all their utility to try and get their way forward. Molly's trying to slow down their pathing. All it do is an enraging Influence RRAGE Africa even more. Trying to go onto the side, and they still got one player. Sully trying to wrap around that building side. The nades are still going to be exchanged back and forth. No first knockers yet to come out. There you go, jump shot across the window. Gonna get one off the Sicko. He's the first player to actually go down. Influence RRAGE Africa gonna go for the double. Empty still gonna be standing strong. And they're instantly going for those double kills, but 2 players get knocked out. Now it's going to get a little bit more tricky. Stoney, can you clutch it out for your team? Can you keep them up and alive? As he's going to swiftly confirm that kill. That's their first kill in this game. Kage is still alive and breathing, but not for long. So you need to close this one quickly in a 1v2. As they get the intel to Stoney, saw that pixel out of place. They're going to go for the push with the UMP. 35 bullets, make them count. 2 bullets connect. Stoney trying to move away, run away from is unfortunately his doom that might just be happening around the corner. As he makes it, hides a few more seconds. Gonna have to get that first aid, but doesn't have it in time. One more bullet connects for Vindex. And that's it. As Aphelion Apex, despite securing himself the first win of the day, that is going to be himself taken out quickly in 16th place.
I gotta say, that was a very respectable play coming in from Influence. You know, they realized this is do or die time. There is no more just waiting to see what will come your way. They stepped up, they got proactive, they stepped right into that engagement, and they put a very swift end to the players there from Aphelion Apex, who only finishes off on 1 point now. So that is quite the turn around from what we saw in that first match. But now moving up, we see over in towards Painan, the players here from Team Somalia, holding a very careful eye on the hilltop where we see the Drogons. But again, they're also starting to advance closer to that top. So this is going to be an important position for the Drogons. If they want to bring in another strong performance, this is a potential position in which they need to try and secure and maintain for quite some time.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite positions in the entirety of Sanhok, other than the trifecta position. Reason why this circle we did see pop is mostly taking into account the southern western island and also the mainland over to the east. This position is not only a great oversight to be able to look towards bootcamp, quarry, even the northern side of cave, but also allows you to look very clearly above the riverside into Painan and the rest, or at least a big portion of the island, that's going to be the southwestern island. So I think this is a great position of Drogons. I love them to be in that position like that, but of course you need to make good use of it. Drogons had a really good position last game, but unfortunately it took a little bit too long to set themselves up for success. So I'm hoping this time they're going to be too slow, and once a circle shifts, they take very swift decision making around that circle shift. So just be quick on your feet, and hopefully if they can do that, they could turn that position into a gold mine of opportunities.
Yeah, and I mean, another team that's in a really strong position is 4KT. They've moved up onto that bootcamp hill just to the south. That's a really strong spot to be in once again. So I'm actually liking this, coming in between the Drogons and 4KT, taking that initiative, setting themselves up. They are able to cover that valley down below. So should Gun or the players here from Team Somalia, even potentially Young Thunder, depending on where they choose to rotate, should they move in, they have themselves set up already. They are able to react and make very quick work of those teams.
Though this is actually a question I have for you, because I see so many teams approach dropping in bootcamp, and they got so many different ways to play it. Some like to drop there, stay there for a long time. Some like to move very quickly, which is what we're seeing from Slime 4KT. What playstyle do you prefer in teams in bootcamp? Personally, I prefer when a team moves out quickly. I think this is the best way. But how about you? What do you think, DK?
It depends, of course, where that compound is positioned. If it's center zone, it could be a favorable spot to hold onto and try and defend. But in general, the ideal would be probably to move in, go through the compound as quickly as you can, clear it out if there's anyone in there. If there's no one, just continue past and move on into a more secured position.
I like that answer.
That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like how we got the bang of the lobby music. It's just like a lingering threat, that music every time. It's like,
Yeah.
Better be careful. If you die, you're gonna hear that music in the lobby again. Haha. It's just kind of saying like, okay, we get it. It's like just a threat almost.
It's almost like that, like the shark attack music they play on Jaws. You know that. It's coming. It's lingering. It's lurking. You got to be careful. And I mean, speaking about careful, RRAGE, they took a very comfortable drop though. I mean, they completely alone on this northwestern side. So. Yeah, I think that was actually a very good strategic drop from them. I mean, it's uncontested, it's open, easy rotations in, even all the way over towards the bridge. So I'm curious to see just where exactly they're going to be going. But center zone, by none, it could become a pretty hot spot.
We'll see if it's going to be Painan's becoming a big spot for these teams to play around. Of course, we already have one team there. We'll see if other teams want to try and go for it. It seems like it might be a very contested position to rotate from the southern western island over to the mainland, over to the east. That could be a land of opportunities. But right now, Slime 4KT more than ever are holding on to one of the strongest opportunities in this entire game in terms of providing themselves early kills. They got an angle that's so good at getting information and also denying teams trying to rotate through Painan potentially, even though that will be more of a job for the Drogons, but especially from the bridge above Painan, and also teams trying to make their way through the trifecta. So I'm looking at Slime 4KT. Don't move. That is such a good opportunity to get a few early game kills. Just remain there. There's literally no reason to move away.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful transitional region in there. I mean, Drogons, 4KT, strong position. So many teams could still be flying right past them, and Blackjack now coming in with a bit of their own bam, trying to push up into zone. And I mean, Wisco holding that good cover angle. They already see a knock over on towards the players here from FEINTED. Meanwhile, providing that opportunity for the rest of the team to now come on towards the eastern side, and this could be quite an interesting engagement. FEINTED, this is where we're going to be watching what they'll be bringing to the table as Wisco finds a beautiful spray in once again, getting the knock into power.
Wow.
But MG and Co now looking to move in. Godzilla just barely escaping out the window.
Oh, right. I'm not dead yet. Oh, there you go. That makes more sense. He's going to get picked away. Revo will be the one to actually get the final kill and blow. Now you got to try and defend it. Leonidas got nothing to do over here as he's just going to get pushed into a corner. One player does get res back up. That's going to be power still up as a two-man for FEINTED, but there's unfortunately no escape away from Blackjack Esports. They're just going to try and wrap around one by one, get it done. Revo gets picked away. Unfortunately, you should have waited for your teammates. And he's going to regret that decision as Blackjack Esports will still be able to eliminate FEINTED AF, but they lose one player. That will hurt their chances at a potential chicken dinner later on down the line.
Yeah, but that was a very clean push nonetheless. They moved in, they made very swift work of that, and what I think would really help them in this particular play was that position coming in from Wisco, holding that Overwatch angle, and we saw that kind of instigated the whole rush. You got that first knock, that was the opportunity they were waiting for. They came in, they cleaned it up, and now they can sit quite comfortable because they've got 4 kills on board. And now they can re-strategize how they want to play the rest of the zone. Meanwhile, the players here from MZR just perched up ahead of the players here from KHK. And KHK actually still having to make a bit of their rotation. They're still trying to find a decent, secure point to come into. But if they go north, they bump into MZR. If they go east, they bump into Blackjack. And if they go into that northeastern side, that is where Team Somalia and the Drogons are lying in wait. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here for KHK.
Not too easy for them. They could try and go for that, of course, that bridge play. I think what they're going to do is play edge, wait for the circle to appear, and maybe do a decision based around that. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're not in a rush by any stretch of the imagination. They're taking this very, very slow and very prepared. So I like this from KHK. They just went to get as much detail about Phase 3 as quickly as possible. Once they got their intel, they're going to make a decision based on that intel. So I think that's the right plan for them. As you said, they are surrounded by a lot of teams, so you want to make sure that if you go for breach, that breach makes sense. Otherwise, it will hurt you quite a bit potentially in the long run. Talking about circles about to shift once again. Bootcamp has already been abandoned. They still got himself Aimer remaining in that position. Aimer and Storm, as I said, 2 of my favorite African players in PUBG Mobile Esports. I absolutely love watching these guys play. We'll see how things are going to be working out for those two. A circle goes right down south of Bootcamp, right up north of Painan. And you got a few compounds that are still available, quite a few actually. So I don't expect us to lose a lot of teams this rotation. But when you're looking at RRAGE, when you're looking at MZR, and as you said, also KHK, these teams now have to cross over the river at some point in time. And that's where things are going to get real dicey.
But Lag actually has a decent position. I mean, we see them all the way up in towards the north, and that northern portion of Bootcamp is still pretty open. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them actually rotate into there. But I think a good spot there would be that hilltop just to the east of Bootcamp itself. I think that could be also a very favorable position to be in, but they got to be careful because G3 also positioned up ahead, just making their way on through RRAGE. Meanwhile, looking to sneak their way now up in towards Painan, and this could be a little bit of a surprise coming in for the players here from Team Somalia because they need to be so aware. They got so many teams positioned over towards that eastern side, and now with the addition of RRAGE moving in, they could maybe get caught off guard.
I like this though. I really like that. How they've been able to set themselves up. El Chapo, the rest of the team has been able to go for a little bit of a widespread, all on the northern side of the river too. So that's making sure there's really hard for RRAGE to actually close that gap and get in personal quarters and actually try and get close and personal with the opposing side. We'll see how things are going to be coming out though. MZR, a few shots connected onto LBX, and that's the shot too much. That's Pennywise. Will be taken down, but that's an instant clap back from El Chapo. Man, what a spray from Thunder. Not resulting in a knock, unfortunately, but still a really good attempt. That's going to be still some heavy resources dwindling away for KHK Esports. They need to be careful of their next move because they still have to cross over that river and even make into the circle because these two teams are not there just yet. And if they try and move into the circle, they're getting closer to Painan. And you know that these two teams that are still in Painan are not very friendly neighbors. They are not going to allow you to get too close on their location.
Yeah, but this is a very healthy engagement though for the side of MZR. They've shown quite a bit of potential in group stages, so this is now that opportunity for them to showcase what it is that they can do. They're going up against a well-known team there, KHK, and you know they have that opportunity to try and push, potentially find a few interesting angles on them. KHK, of course, now reduced to 3 players, so we know KHK, regardless of the amount of players they still have left, they are still able to pull off magic, you know, some miraculous plays. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do. I mean, are they going to try and challenge them, or will they be prioritizing that rotation back into zone?
I would personally go for the point they made of maybe not going for the engage. I think that here taking this fight could be a little bit risky, but you know, sometimes you might not have a choice. Good spray from Lewis. Oh, that's a lot of damage, and he actually gets himself to knock through the leaves. That's really good connection, as the blue zone is now going to be closing up around them, about to go into phase 4, so that tick damage is now also going to ramp up an extra level. The rest of MZR is just completely moved out, rolled out, not looking to take this any further. I like that play from them. The circle's about to go. Where is it going to be shifting? Back towards bootcamp, baby, as this hilltop position from Slime 4KT is now turned from silver into gold. And now all you do is maybe go for a little bit of a wider spread, maybe go to a 2-2 split to make sure no teams from the south can actually move in. Or do you want to go back into boot camp? You got so many decisions, but Slime 4KT has an opportunity to find closure in this game.
Yeah, and I mean, another team looking for a little bit of closure is going to be the side here of INF. 3 players left, looking to apply a bit of pressure to the side here of G3. G3 still sitting on a full squad. The health bar is not looking too fantastic. Now also Sully getting knocked out. So Inspector and Vindex have quite a bit of pressure now riding on their shoulders. But up comes a very risky rotation. Vindex about to get hit. Will he be able to escape? Oh, barely escapes. Up comes Inspector. Will he get it? No, he hits the only tree ahead of him. Down he goes. But G3 just on the money there with the reaction speed.
It's even worse because it was a palm tree. It's supposed to be the smallest tree you could potentially hit. And he still hit it. He still hit it.
That's how it works.
Everyone loses themselves in the heat of passion, Jimbo. That's what I'm going to say. Happens from time to time. But you know what? There's still going to be some more players picked away, but they still have Vindex to made it unscathed into the circle and has got a sneaky position. And you know, Sanhok, snakes are indeed the meta play when it comes to this map. We'll see if they can try and find some closure later on. Lag also got himself a strong compound next to the road. Relatively flat terrain. The most weak point of this compound would be the eastern side. So as long as they make sure that no teams such as, for example, G3 or even Mezexis make it too close, they should be pretty golden for this game.
Yeah, but this is where the pressure comes in once again. We've got so many teams moving in from the eastern side. It's going to be heavily congested. And Blackjack now being one of those teams getting caught up ahead. The Zexes are going to be trying to dominate that. Meanwhile, INF, G3 still fighting it out. But the players here from MZR also going to try and... No, sorry, that's Mezexis. They're going to try and hold on to the position here. MZR actually still over on towards the western side, trying to find their way through. Blackjack now feeling that pressure, the sprays coming in, but a good save actually as Rila Insider are descending from atop that hill, finding beautiful sprays up ahead of them, but they also now being pressurized by the blues. So this is an absolutely crazy zone to look at once again.
Yeah, very congested over to the eastern side. Blackjack also could have a little bit of something to say with one player currently remaining. It's going to be MG. And get involved. How do you make that work, Pyro? There's no way. There's no way you see that. I don't believe it. No. The world is truly a simulation. We'll have to see. I can make it. Maybe get himself a double onto Pyro, but gets it right through the smoke. Good nade from Rola. I like that one. I like the attempt. I think Pyro maybe spotted that nade in the open area, in the open air. Did have to move back. Reposition of the circle right on top of Young Thunder. But Slime 4KT still have access to that big ridge line. Young Thunder really don't have too much say in the matter, so that is still really big. The fight still coming away from Mezexis as they slowly but surely here, DK getting picked up one by one, getting dismantled slowly by Rila Insider. But they have to start moving away, but unfortunately, if you move out, you're going to show your back. You got G3 on the northern side. There is no easy way out for Mezexis. You have to finish this fight with Rila Insider.
Yeah, and I mean, they are fighting it out in that fifth phase blue zone. Oh, yep. And there we go. The shots finding their way on in. Trip getting knocked right on out by the blue. Now, the players here from Mezexis also going to be looking to hold strong. Trip just barely making his way in, but J Roller is going to try and run it through potentially. Will he be able to get it? No. Down he goes. Oh, man.
It was bad, man. It really does. You just like, it's fine. I got time. And no, don't. It's like when you're doing homework for like the day after and you're just way too late on to give away your product. So, yeah, unfortunate. But that's going to be most of the players picked up one by one. Mezexis now going to be, unfortunately, under fire. Blackjack Esports going to lose their final player. That's it as they get eliminated in 12th. Mezexis, though, doing the same as Rila Insider, taking a little bit too long, but unfortunately, they used a lot of smokes, right, DK? Without smokes, that rotation downhill against Gun is almost impossible to pull off.
Yeah, that would have been absolutely insane. But now, I mean, the blue zone is claiming so many lives. The players here from Mezexis. Yeah, Papa Blue is just, you know, laying down the law and not letting anyone escape. Drogons, they're still holding on. I mean, I could have gone a complete different way with that. I just realized that I saved my own butt with that one. But either way, yes, we are going to be looking to see what the team's going to do. And I mean, a beautiful hilltop just up ahead. The rest of the teams all just circling this hilltop. I'm curious to see, though, who's going to try and push in? Because, I mean, Young Thunder up ahead. 4KT still holding strong. Only 1 kill on board. Gun up ahead. Lag right in front of them. This could be a good play here from 4KT if they use this height.
This is big because if they take this fight and win it versus Lag, they actually do not split their focus anymore. They can just focus on the team down south. Really good angle actually from Pounds, but that was not really expected in the first place. Lag are going to be surprised, but do fight back in just a nick of time. And now the rest of Slime 4KT maybe know that they committed a little bit too fast. Storm, one of the top players in this lobby, instantly got picked up. Aimer will try and crawl his way back to his teammate, but I think it might just be a little bit too short. And what a molly here, DK, from Gun. As they're just decimating the rest of Lag. As only Berserk will be left up and ready to go. But Gun are trying to close that gap. Slime 4KT might be able to get Aimer back on his 2 feet, but I am not really too hopeful. As now we're in phase 6, about to go into the next phase. And this circle is going to be finishing potentially on the slope, which is never fun to deal with, DK.
And we only have 1 team currently positioned in zone. Sorry, make that 2. We got RRAGE and the Drogons. The rest of the lobby still trying to crawl their way back into zone. Berserk making a quick play for that. He does spot. Short boy Slim up ahead. No! I don't think... No!
Papa Blue, stop! He's too evil. He's laying down the law, man. The law is... It's more like a dictatorship, man. What's going on? Just calm down, Papa Blue. Jesus. Okay, Aimer will once again get knocked out, though. I believe there was once again the blue. Young Thunder get picked up in 7th. Only 6 teams remain, and now Slime 4KT are suffering the wrath of the gods around them. As only 1 player remains. That's Koa, 774. See if he can try and get himself... Well, Koa 77 because the 4 is part of 4KT, so not part of the IGN, but... Circles for Drogons, but they're still downhill. They do not have the advantage with that third-person perspective. It could still ruin their chance despite being a 4-man crew. They pick up 1, and that's going down to 1 player, and that is going to be Plaza once again.
Oh, man. Down goes KHK. They get eliminated. And I mean, the Drogons. KHK. Yeah, the blue zone. Again, absolutely relentless. But here we go now. I mean, the Drogons, they have a good control of the zone. Yes, not the most favorable position within that zone, but they are pretty solidified within it. And now RRAGE, they facing the grunt. Oh, Gun also now getting hit, but Plaza still trying to bring a play. The blue zone is moving up. He just needs to stay ahead of it. 1 touch of the blue could be the end for Plaza.
Oh, really good nade. Really good nade from one of the players of Slime 4KT. Koa 77 will be the one to connect it. Can you get the rest? Unfortunately, if you get on your 2 feet, you could potentially give the intel over, but it seems like players are not close enough for that to actually happen. I like this play, though, coming onto the side from one of the players of RRAGE. Going to go for the heal in a compound right on the side. They are hoping to steal away a 2nd place. They must have an insane, unsufferable amount of first aids to go for a strat like that. They must be feeling really confident in that number. I would love to see the POV potentially, but I don't think we'll have the time to go see exactly how many are currently remaining. They have 2 players actually over there, which is surprising. I thought they only had 1.
Yeah, well... Yeah, Frozen sitting on 14 meds, so he's definitely geared up and ready to roll. I mean, he can pull off that hill strat. You can really definitely attempt it, though. I mean, but yeah, the zone itself is looking pretty crammed up, as we can see. Everyone are trying to move in. We do have Slay, fortunately, positioned within the zone, but he's right here alongside Cole, and we could see that shot come through. That is exactly what happens. Now this is the opportunity for Drogons actually to clear out the zone.
Oh, they have no idea where the Drogons currently stand. Gets up, goes, picks up one. The big fight back from Aimer. As he's going to be jumping up too, and there's not much can do. That's the end for Slime 4KT, and that works out perfectly as planned for RRAGE, as they were hoping for another team to die, and they were hoping... Wait, does he get up? Does he get an angle from there? No, he's not going to peek. There you want to try and peek was a third-person perspective. That would be huge. But what a good setup from Drogons that was, DK. They were big. They were spread. They went for it. Does not get the first day once again. And that is going to be GG as Drogons coming hot. And now they're going to be taking home a 26-point game. Absolutely fantastic once again. And they were a team that was relatively... passive at the start. Very focused around scouting, getting the information. The moment that circle shifted, and we said it, that position that they had down south next to Pineland could have been huge. The information they had there was perfect to pull off that rotation, and they made it result in a win coming their way.
Yeah, a very, very respectable play coming in from the Drogons. And I mean, it's really strong performance. And that is what we were hoping to see. The Drogons really stepped it up in the group stage and just came back so much stronger already into the second match. Even the first match, they finished up in 10th place. This one now coming in with that winner chicken dinner. Beautiful evolution there from the side of Drogons. So yeah, really well done to them.
Yeah, really well done. And we're going to be having to look exactly our match rankings here to see how many points have been taken home. 4 teams get themselves double-digit points their way. That is a great way to kickstart your action this time around. Slime 4KT going to get himself 13. 14 over to Gun. Team RRAGE going to get himself 15 with a heal strat that really, on Sanhok, I got to say, DK, works amazingly well. We see in almost every PMCO, every PMPL, even PMGC, we see some teams pull it off because it's a strat that actually works. And Drogons get himself the 15 point from that chicken dinner and 11 kills to top it off. It was 26 points total. Absolutely popping the hell off. And KHK, as we used to, they are a team that like to heal off in this map of Sanhok. I'm not too surprised. And because of that, they actually secure themselves 7 points total.
Yeah, it was definitely some really, really strong plays coming in through this match. I mean, even though the teams didn't make it all the way into that first page, still a really valiant effort, and it was absolutely chaotic coming into these later few phases. We still had so many teams alive, but everyone just fighting it out. And I mean, again, this is where GT, they finished on 3 kills. Team Somalia also finishing on 3 kills, not getting those placement points, but any points you can get at this stage will definitely help and try and lay a bit of a foundation that you can just build on moving into the remaining 2 games of the day.
I was hoping to see from Team Somalia maybe just a little bit few more kills. I think that they had a really good opportunity to gatekeep teams such as KHK. You had another one also that was coming into Pineland. I thought they could maybe go for an 8-kill game, maybe a little bit less, maybe 6 or 7, but didn't quite go their way at the very end, but still a good attempt. The Aphelion Apex, up and down, got himself a first place with 20 kills, and then he gave himself a bottom place with only, I believe it was only 1 kill. So we'll see if they can try and maybe build themselves back up in our next 2 games. Next one is going to be on Miramar, aka the map that I've never had the chance to cast, because once again, James Banks is going to be jumping in after this break and take it away from me. I'm feeling, personally, very offended right now, but that's fine. We'll be back after this short break with James Banks and DK to bring you the game over here on Miramar.
Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
What's going on, guys? We are back and moving into our third game of the day, and we've got rid of Moist Max, and now we're taking it a step further and not giving him any more Miramar games, DK, because he's not allowed them, is he? He's had one so far, and only because you needed a little break. Like, we didn't really want to give it to him, but we have to be nice at some point. But now we go to the map we love. We know we're gonna see some madness go down. I'm most excited, mate, to see Slime 4KT back in action. You know, like I remember obviously covering them through the first PMCO. Back again, they've been waiting. Do you see them at like a bit of a disadvantage having not played through PMCO, or do you think it's like a nice thing that they've just been able to watch and soak it all in?
I think it kind of swings both ways. I mean, it's nice being in there, participating against the team, so you can start building up, you know, a bit of a better idea of what to expect. I think watching vids are not exactly the same as it is playing in the matches with them. But I sincerely hope that 4KT, they've been doing their preparations. I believe they have been doing their preparations, getting themselves ready to move into the finals. And so far, I mean, this entire day has been pretty challenging. We've seen some surprise performances come in. So I'm quite curious to see whether or not we're going to see 4KT actually start bouncing back.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. But in our opening game, right, the Aphelion Apex one, they set the kill record. We actually haven't had a big game like that for a while. I think me and Max were talking about it. We haven't seen over 31 kills probably since, I think the highest was then during the EMEA Championship. So solid stuff coming out from them. As typical as it can be, though, you know, getting eliminated on the second map as the first team afterwards. People put a target on your back. Probably not what they would have wanted with that. But overall, I feel like this is still, obviously, it's the opening days. People are going to be learning things out, feeling their way and finding their form throughout it all. But for me, what's going to be most interesting is how much these teams have put some extra work in or changed things up on how they play in terms of the style, because they've had these extra few days break, right? Before you had like 1 day break when it wasn't your group coming in. Now you've had at least a decent starting time to be able to get yourself ready.
Yeah, and I mean, we've actually seen a pretty strong comeback from teams just coming in from group stage up into the finals, but also a great improvement coming in from last season into this one. Some really strong comebacks, some really strong finishes. And I mean, yes, we've only been into the first 2 matches, but it has been absolutely insane, these first 2. Now we're getting ready to move into that third one.
Oh, yes. And as the plane starts to take its route across the map, we will be born to win as always. Welcome everyone to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series of smartphones and dominate your PUBG mobile lobbies from start to finish as you look to find your own success. And that's exactly what these teams and players are going to be doing, trying to find some success in this stacked-up lobby and seeing who can be at the top and who can take that EMEA Championship place point. And my, oh my, it is certainly one all of these teams would like to grab. The main thing, right, is to see if Slime could be the first team and they can go back-to-back. You know, maybe that is possible. Or will someone else steal it away? It was incredibly close last time around, and this is only day 1. We still got it all to play for. And this is for me, right, when we get to finals days, DK, when we're like at this point, the last 4 days, this is where I get the most excited, the most hyped, because you can't have a bad game, you know. You can have like one game where it's not so ideal, but you know if you miss out on the point average, you have so much catching up to do, less days to do it. But the only positive, I guess, for any team here is that you're in the same lobby day after day with the same teams that you can try and work off. You're not swapping around like the group stage. But overall, the pressure is on such a higher level.
Yeah, I mean, there's some crazy amounts of pressure already coming in. And I mean, a few teams already being pretty comfortable under that pressure. We can see that being quite reflective. You know, they're just holding their own so comfortably. And that's where all these surprise performances come in. And now, speaking about surprise performance, we can see that zone also now heading back over on towards the east. We've actually seen it on Miramar on the east time and time again. So no surprise. But I'm curious to see, though, if the teams are going to adapt to that. I'm hoping that they've learned from what they've seen in the past Miramar games and actually come in with those strategies and looking to apply them in this game.
Well, you know, for me, I definitely want the island finish, but I will say in the finals, I don't really want to see that crazy of a circle, you know? Like, in the group stage, I'll take it any day of the week. If it happens in the finals now, I will enjoy it, obviously. It's what I've been asking for. But I will actually feel bad for the teams. I will start to think that this is not what you want to do. Because, you know, you want probably the fairest circles. You want the most fun games. You want the most competitive games going. And we know that may not lead into that way. Now, in terms of teams being close to each other early on, there is quite a cluster of teams out when I'm looking at the map stream here on this eastern northern side when it comes to it. Obviously, the water mass that we've got in this circle is not huge. It's like, I'd say, 10-15%, so there is still a good amount of land coming in there. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a problem for a lot of teams in there, but it will cause a bit of a cluster starting to happen as the first rotations begin. It's all about who can get there fast enough, who can get themselves set up and ready, and how these teams want to play it all out.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about clusters, we got a healthy amount of teams actually positioned up in towards Los Leones. We've got the players coming in there from Blackjack. We've got the team from Young Thunder, as well as FEINTED, and then also now the Drogons positioned just a little bit further down to the south. So a healthy start. They're not hard dropping on top of each other. As we know, Miramar is a slightly vaster map in comparison to some of the others, but definitely it could have an impact. You know, just having that extra bit of pressure, you need to be a slight bit more careful, especially in the early game, because you don't want to be the first team to get sent on back. JR already taking a little bit of damage in that one, but yeah, I'm curious to see, though, what the zone's going to bring, because we've got a few teams in those outlying regions over towards the northwestern side. There is still a bit of space, especially on that far east, just east of Junkyard. And INF and Mezexis, we have them situated on that far offside. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting zone, looking to see where the teams are going to be going, who's going to try and play which spots. And starting it off, Berserk and MZR Thunder. Pretty close proximity, but fortunately enough, Berserk is just, really good at playing hide and seek.
He's definitely hiding out for now. And the thing is, the MZR players don't want to go and run into him as when they're quite split up like this. Like Clutcher may be close by, but if one player that could maybe potentially just run into it or something would not be ideal, especially if he's able to get the drop on you. It'll be quite an easy finish off, an easy kill point to find. And that right now, at least what seems to be happening for Berserk is he's just in full chill mode. He knows someone's close by and doesn't want to take any risks just yet. The Clutcher here, as we look at him, he is the player that was closest to him. We saw Thunder did drive off a little bit, but this is where Clutcher, if he just continues to loot around this area, may find himself falling short and going out too close to him, which is certainly what he wouldn't want to see happen very early on. And actually, he's going to be tagged up from the side there. Is that leader at quite some distance, potentially taking the shots onto him? Oh, yes, it is.
That's cheeky.
That's nice, though. Good cover from the lag boys.
Shot. Yeah. I mean, but it's good. The players, the teams really just stepping it up. It's not the same kind of play that we saw in group stage. They look way more serious coming into this, and it's, they know what they're playing for. They know this is where they need to step it up. They're playing not only for their share of the prize money, but they're also playing for that slot in the EMA. And like watching the previous season of EMA, it is a pretty tough scene to go into. So, I mean, and it's great exposure for any of the teams that qualify for that.
Oh, massively so. But we spoke about Sly and 4KT finding their form and getting themselves into this. Already seeing a couple of their players be knocked down here. They've actually lost one entirely as well, which is not what they want to see to start off with. Drogons have also lost a player. It seems like this was for quite some distance as well, potentially, for the 4KT boys. So they do want to make sure that they try and fight back if possible, or just disengage completely. You hear them taking some shots, and they are going to look to try and take down Rila Insider from the far away spot. Zeke will find himself being absolutely flattened straight away, so they trade it out. And well, Slime are a team that are never scared to fight. Their confidence has always been high. And for me, it was in terms of Storm, he was leading the team last time around. He was a man that would always scout ahead, go further forward, take some risks in order for the team to try and capitalize on it. When you're already down with just 3 players in here, maybe it's not too possible. But now we do see this back into this battle where it's the lag players. Oh no, pre-fired, not taken out, 2 knocked on the floor and 0. That is so easy for him. It was a nice attempt for them to try and hold on for it there for MZR, but they really just got overwhelmed. And you can see just the setup of players and where the lag players are sat at the moment. Such good positions to be able to do all the damage. Clutch is the next one to fall. And MZR, they get eliminated real quick there.
Yeah, I mean, the Master Zigzag Ravengers, I guess that's what I read on screen just then. But yeah, a really strong play coming in here from Lag. They, again, look so comfortable moving in. They don't look to be under any amount of pressure just yet. But that could, of course, all change at a moment's notice. Meanwhile, the players here from FEINTED, they're going to be looking for a decent place to pull in to try and set up that anchor point. And looking at where they are, we see them all the way down in that far southern edge. Young Thunder right here alongside them, also rotating in. We could see a few exchanges actually coming in between these 2 teams. And, I mean, it could be quite healthy for them.
They could try and work with here. Romeo going out for the spray. His teammate also hopped out to try and do some extra damage on towards them. They've already found themselves a 1 kill. I believe it was onto one of the Drogons players we saw earlier on down here in the south. The rest of the Drogons have decided to back away from that and gone out towards the western side. But a circle now is starting to come in, and more teams will begin to make their rotations depending on how far away they are. And for Young Thunder, at least, they've kept them at bay. They've taken the shots. They provided the fire they want, but they won't be able to get anything from the FEINTED boys out here at the moment.
Yep, they're just right there on the edge of Puerto, even potentially. And, I mean, you pointed out the blue zone is making its way on through. We still see the players there actually from RRAGE and KHK still making their way towards the zone. But what's nice about this early phase is they can still afford to linger a little bit more in the blue. Once we get into those later few phases, especially from that 5th phase onwards, there it becomes absolutely essential to stay ahead of that blue zone. So I'm hoping that they really bring in a little bit of a faster rotation. Looking center zone, it is really starting to get congested. We've got the players from Gun, we've got Aphelion, all position here. We've got G3 just off to the side. We've got INF, we've got Rila Insider. Just look at that zone, and it's about to pop up once again. Let's see what we have. Islands. Oh, almost so close there, James.
See, the time I'm saying that I'm actually fine for it not to happen, it just teases me a little bit more and still keeps a section of it in. Obviously, it won't happen now. It's not going to be a problem. But it is a lot of land here, especially on the center point where a lot of the teams went for, but they're still inside it. But this might force some fights a little bit earlier than what other teams expect. In some ways, coming in from this northern side or even from the west might actually be benefiting you now if you come a bit later, because you might want to avoid the crazy gunfire that could be taking place a little bit later on. Now, INF find themselves getting shot at here by the Rila players. Bit of exchanges going back and forth. Roller able to do some damage, going to find himself hidden down here. He's got back up close range to him. They're going to try and use the utility to flush some of these players out. Fair exchange, but INF do have a player slightly further away, which might help them out here if any players expose themselves. It's going to be a waiting game to see when those shots might be able to start to run through on these players. Row gets some extra information there. Another grenade goes out if it gets wrong time, and it perfect. Vindex doesn't expect it. It was cooked on good timing. As he runs back into it, he takes the fight, and now Hansley, he needs to be careful. Some shots are going to land on top of him. He's got the drop of him in terms of damage. This is something he can finish off. Perfect stuff to start off with. Goes back towards his teammate. Cheekily going straight for the revive. There's a slight risk in this one. Trip is close, so is Roller. Ro's going to be finished off by Inspector, though, so he's that player that's outside of the fight, not directly into it. Got a good amount of cover here as well to play off of. They can hear the footsteps, but with only 2 players left, Rilla inside. They pulled up on the wrong squad, and this is a squad that's certainly willing to fight. Trip can't really help Roller out from here either, because there's easily a way that Inspector could be able to finish him off if he just pokes out too far.
Yeah, and I mean, even the side of Influence, they've now received their reinforcement. They've now condensed themselves back into a 3-man team looking to make that potential play. So I'm going to be curious to see what exactly they have in store. Inspector still slightly on an off-angle approach there, but up comes Phoenix, spots out that first opportunity, tries to get the spray in, and they landed. As J-Roller gets taken right on down, but Inspector, though, on the other hand, gets taken down. It is up to Trip. He's so low on health. He needs to try and get those meds up because Hainsley and Vindex, they have the advantage when it comes to health. But up comes Hainsley, now looking to apply a little bit of that pressure onto Trip. Trip now just trying to outlast and outplay the side of Influence.
Yeah, if he can pull this off, it's going to be huge. I actually loved his time to strike as well. He knew the other 2 players inside the compound were willing to fight against his teammate, and he knew he could put it into a 1v1, so he's at least gained them 1 point. For both teams here, though, this just isn't beneficial. This is a massive problem. Trip takes a lot more damage in there. He will go down. Rila Insider are eliminated, but look at the cost that we had here for INF. 2 players are lost. Yes, you've got 3 kills, but now you're wounded and limping across the rest of Miramar to try and find some more success. They may have to play a little bit more cautiously now and ensure that they can play for a longer game where they may be able to pick up some points. Obviously, the loot can benefit them, what they can pick up here off all the bodies they've been able to take down, but this is not a situation you want to be in when there's still 14 teams left.
Yep, definitely not the position you want to be in. Moving on, we see the players here from Team Somalia. Pretty close to the players here from G3. And again, that zone is about to pop and it moves all the way down towards the south. Actually now being inclusive of Impala. BJE already finding themselves beautifully set up within the zone. But now, as we look to the north, this is where it is going to be absolutely essential to get a decent setup. And especially alongside that road that we have over on towards the western side, that could be prime real estate. That could be a really strong, a really great stronghold to be fighting from. But now, 4KT, they're going to be trying to bring in as many points as they can get before even moving into zone.
Oh, yeah, it never changes for 4KT. They love to fight. They love to get aggressive. They're really willing and ready to dominate the lobby wherever possible, despite already losing Fex earlier on. The rest of them will be all up to the challenge when it comes to this. And they go on the hunt as a unit, working their way through these teams that are starting their rotations. And for them, they were only just in the circle, right? They were playing off the northern edge on the previous circle. As this new one's gone in, they still won't find themselves that close to it. But they know they're looking for plenty of these other teams making their way across. Now, KHK for us, right? We did start to really enjoy what we saw from these guys. They found themselves second after the first 2 games. Not getting themselves a chicken dinner, but staying consistent with it early on. They'll be looking to do much more of the same. Keep themselves up high when it comes to this. And that's the thing. Although we may see teams like have these great games and really pop off on a win every now and again, if you can just stay within like constant top 6 placements, get a few kills of it, push up every now and again, get a second, third in there, that can still net you the win. You don't have to have the chicken dinners despite how heavily weighted the first place is.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is key. We've said it quite a few times, and, you know, we can say it again. Consistency is what really makes it so easy for teams to finish off way higher up on that leaderboard. And now KHK trying to come through with a quick rotation, but I'm loving the reaction coming in from RRAGE. Just anticipating that move. Beautiful teamwork coming in from them, but now they need to get that focus back onto the zone. They need to reposition, relocate, and set up a strong play. I mean, KHK, they just continue to push on regardless of what's happening behind them. And now 4KT and Aphelion Apex. Oh, here we go.
Aimer there. Thought he had the drop on one play. Does need to be careful because at least here Stoney is providing some fire back out towards them. But it's how much do they want to risk and put into something like this. We know 4KT will take these fights in it. But again, you have to stress the fact that they do only have 3 players up alive in this already. And a lot of the other teams are still incredibly healthy. And while we wait to see what happens in this one, I just want chat to do me one thing. To make sure Max gets the love he wants. So just spam Moist Max as much as possible. Chat, I know you're with me. Yeah, just keep going with it. Give Max the love he deserves. Because although Miramar is deserted, there's not that much moisture in the air, Max still provides it even if he's not able to commentate it. And that circle, whew, less than ideal for a lot of teams in it. There is not many spots I would like to be playing from in that one. And this is going to maybe force a lot of fights earlier than what we expect. The rotations now for these teams, it's evened up on the south and north now. It's actually split it quite fairly considering how many teams aren't directly in it. It's not bad.
But this is where that capitalization can come in once again. Aphelion already doing much better than they did in the previous one. Not the first team to get sent back, but we still have 14 teams in the mix here, so they got to be so careful with how they approach this one. Lag, they're just trying to play this one to their strengths. They're trying to maintain that anchor point they've got just on the edge of zone. Also not looking to open it up too much, but they got to be so careful because the north, once again, is heavily congested. We got so many teams up here. 4KT being one of them, looking to push their way in. Gun also just positioned over on towards the northwestern side, but here we go. The sprays are starting to find its way through from KHK, trying to maintain a little bit of dominance, trying to retain control of that northern section. And 4KT just trying to find the best approach. They do spot the opportunity on the plays here from RRAGE up ahead, but this could be another amazing play coming in from Aphelion Apex.
Yeah, they've got a good setup here. Less than further down can provide the cover fire. Sicko's got good information here. Jumps on over, takes a few shots. Can't quite connect it. It's a big risk when he sees that many players as well. KHK is not too far away to back him up as well. They've got to be able to challenge this correctly here and also not be third-partied at the same time. Good use of utility coming out from Gun, but the grenades aren't quite connecting. Smoke will at least provide some cover fire. Sicko, he's about to be overwhelmed and run on down. He needs to fight this as best as possible, but they are just fighting out fiercely with it all. KHK trying to provide some of the cover fire back. Sicko still hasn't been put down yet, but it's 1-2 knocks now gone down. Oh, and who's left? Who's the only one? He's trying to get the revive off. Plaza on the floor behind the tree. They're fighting through the smoke, but there's more shots coming out towards them. I don't even think that's from the Gun players. Plaza with the M249 wants to find some success with it, but maybe he just decides to run away. This is less than ideal for him. Gun go down. He couldn't get out of there. And Aphelion Apex again. The team tactical fights are there, but Lag have also joined into the party, and KHK, but he won't be able to slow down or finish just yet. He's going to be going in for much more.
Oh man, this is absolutely insane. Some phenomenal gameplay coming in, and already the side of Lag sitting on 6 kills. So they are looking way stronger coming into this match. But will they be able to close it up against the side of Aphelion Apex? Apex, we saw that absolutely stellar performance in the first match. So we know they have the ability. They can bring it in. But will they now push through and look to continue with that momentum, look to bring in that consistency? Leader trying to inch his way forward, trying to sneak up, trying to find that angle. The molly's being deployed, but now also 4KT still trying to bring in a sneaky play. Oh, will that be the one? Yes! Beautiful play by KHK there.
Aphelion Apex. They may have had a bunch of kills stolen away from them from Team Lag on that fight against Gun. They don't want to lose some more now. They are willing to take the challenge against 4KT. They do have the numbers advantage in it, remember. Now with the knocked player coming in, plus already having lost 1, they do need to be careful. Lag's still kicking about here as well, though, so they all need to be cautious. And these circles are just leaving us right out in the open here, DK.
Oh, man, this is such a beautiful shift. I mean, not for the teams, this is hell. This is going to be so tough, but just watching this, the teams are going to really be put to the test. We got G3, we got BJE, Young Thunder, as well as Louis from KHK, still positioned all the way over onto the south. They need to try and find a good approach back up into zone. Team Somalia looking good just on the edge of zone, but Apex looking to hold strong. They want to put up that defensive play and stick it to the side of Black. But Leader, I like how he's been able to sneak his way in, but they got to focus on that timer. They only got a few seconds left until that zone starts closing in, and 4KT still in the mix, still looking to apply a bit of pressure, but will they be able to reposition into zone on time? Drogons, meanwhile, get eliminated.
Another kill for Lag. They are wrecking right now on Miramar. They're like dealing with fights across the whole map. They're not stopping. 4KT are getting the hell out of there, and I don't blame them at all. Rage have now been eliminated at the same time. And Aphelion Apex, well, they may be reviving their players, getting themselves back up, but they are pinned down, and Lag, they're just waiting it out. They know they're on the edge. Lag have the advantage in this massively. Oh, no. Leader might not expect this, though, and there we go, straight away. Sicko jumps on top of him, goes in for the finish off, wants to get a kill back. And that was maybe just an overextension, because look where the rest of the Lag players were.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Leader was just feeling a little bit too overconfident in the push and in the position there. But now, Apex being put on a slight bit of a back foot here, trying to make their own play back into zone. If FEINTED, meanwhile, are going to be trying to find those sprays in. But Lag still just holding on the edge. He's still going to try and bring that domination and influence. Rage also now trying to just quickly inch their way back up into zone. It is up to Ainsley, but Apex holding strong. Lag. Zero gets knocked down. It is up to Berserk and Fantasy now to try and bring it home.
This is quickly turned around. There is aggression, and then there's maybe going too far with it and finding yourself picked off. And another kill stolen away from Aphelion Apex. That was on the 4KT players getting to take that one away from them. They may do the damage, but they're not so good at getting the finish-offs in here. They certainly want to do that, considering how they started the day coming in. Berserk as well, like, are you going to use some meds? There we go. I'm happy now. You had me worried for a second there. A gust of wind could have killed you if it was too strong. But he will decide he needs to heal himself back up. Sadly, they know exactly where he is. They are looking out for him. And Aphelion Apex are still taking plenty of shots here. But considering how many knocks we've seen Aphelion Apex get, having 3 kills seems really weird here.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem a little bit odd there, but that blue zone is starting to make its way in, and the sprays are coming through. Sicko now quickly trying to get up ahead. Fantasy keeping his eyes absolutely glued to the edge of the zone. Meanwhile, Sicko does get taken right on down, and I mean, Aimer, he's still in it. He's not going to give up, but now look at that zone shift. Is moved back into the north, and we've got such a big congestion of teams sitting all the way down to the south.
Yeah, that circle is massively beneficial for Aphelion Apex and for Lag, but now they've been so wounded in terms of these multiple fights they've been taking, not just against each other, but other teams around them, that even trying to take some control of this circle is going to be difficult. And I do actually really like the split that we see here from Fantasy and Berserk, because if one of them goes down, you can just sit back and wait it out a bit more. You're in the circle anyway, and you can hope that you can find yourself at least a bit of cover while the rest of the teams fight it out and try and get some more points on the board. Influence RRAGE Africa, though, they're going to be going out next. Only 10 teams remain, 24 players left alive in it. And of course, it's a Slime 4KT player. It's Aimer right at the top with 4 kills within this Miramar match. And, well, like I said, they're a team that likes to get aggressive. They're a team that likes to fight. They've got a tough fight on their hands now as FEINTED. Good cover for him in this one as well. Take the first shots. We'll get the knockdowns coming in. First aid kit's going to be used. They need to be careful of any grenades coming out towards them at the same time. They're going to fire some back themselves. With the smoke being down, their vision is a little bit cloudy here, but they got to try and work off it as much as possible. More smoke's going down. They want to play the long game, but the spray coming through from Superior. He wants to sneak in, and he may upset the whole party here for him. Wrecking them slowly with the Uzi, just spraying through and hitting shots, while 4KT are trying to fight everyone else around them. And this is just madness right now.
That was absolutely insane. A beautiful saving grace for the side of 4KT is this push coming in from Young Thunder, just clearing it out behind them. And now 4KT can relax, focus a little bit more on the edge of the zone. But it's still going to be absolutely insane. We still have 8 teams left, 14 players remaining, and this is now where Lag starts to light it up as they bring in those sprays. KHK get eliminated. And here we go, Superior alongside No Recoil looking to push back into zone, trying to smoke their path on up. Berserk trying his utmost to get ahead of the lead. But of course, 4KT, they have something to prove. 8 kills on board so far. And they're still in the running. 5 teams remain. Meanwhile, BJE get eliminated.
Only 5 teams and only 9 players left. No one is that healthy right now. Pyro, right at the back now, going to start to take some damage from the blue if he's not careful. Runs on 4, but does have some smokes that can give him some cover. Superior, the man that pulled it off with the Uzi, which I still can't explain at all. Taking the shots through the smoke, maybe looking for some more here. Playing right on the edges of the smoke as well, keeping himself in just about enough cover. Slime 4KT could still grab themselves the win here, considering how things didn't start off actually successfully well from here. It's all about the smart plays coming in now. And the man I mentioned, right, Storm, he's the one I'd always see bringing in the big brain plays. He's the fort master behind this, and this is going to be an easy kill for him. He goes down. G3 find themselves eliminated. Another kill found for Slime 4KT. And Storm, he's got his eyes peeled. He's looking onto that hut. He will soon find out that there's a couple of players sat within it as Aphelion Apex. They take another casualty, another knock comes through. And Superior, he's just been on one individually this match.
He's been absolutely on fire now. We can see him advancing once again, creating even closer, cooking up the grenades. Will he be sending one in to find the place? Oh, yes, sirree, Bob. Down they go, but the sprays come straight on through in favor now. Aimer, absolutely on point. No recoil. Now just surviving up ahead. Could this be the game in which we see 4KT bring in that winner chicken dinner already? 11 kills on board.
Really solid stuff come out from Slime 4KT, considering, like I said, they lost the player so early on. They're willing to play this one out. Now all they need to do is play together and find Pyro. He's been crouched down here. He's been avoiding the blue, slowly, slippery snaking his way forward. Takes a few shots out towards Storm. Now they know his position. He's not got too much cover there. He wants to try and get behind it. It's not going to work out. And our reigning PMCO Africa champions get their first chicken dinner. Solid stuff coming out from them, considering they were fighting so much, DK, from the very early point of this game. Lost the player early on and didn't get more passive. They stayed confident. They found success with it. And well, look, this is why we know what this team can do. This is why we know that they have been putting themselves in a position to play hard and play strong once again.
Yeah, I mean, they came back. They had to prove a point. But no surprise, actually, looking at Miramar, because last season, the first Miramar match, they also got the winner chicken dinner. But they improved on it. Not only did they finish on 7 kills, they finished this one much stronger on 13 kills, so bringing in 6 additional kills. So, again, great improvement coming in. But now, also, we got to look at what those points look like.
Let's have a look at these points. And 28 in total there for Slime 4KT, nearly hitting that golden 30 number up there. Everything else, though, quite split, right? This is a very even spread. Mezexis getting 18 in there, not massive amounts of kills. Young Thunder up in there. Lag only got 2 placement points, but they were rocking it with the kill points from very early on. They stole a lot of them away from Aphelion Apex in the sense that Aphelion Apex knocked the players, and then Lag was like, haha, we'll take the rest going down forward. And G3 Temper's still up there. KHK Esports as well. Like, this is pretty good overall for all the teams. This shows a lot of diversity, a lot of crazy fighting, and why we ended up with such an ending where there was lots of teams alive with just 1 or 2 players left there.
Yeah. I mean, this has been an absolutely phenomenal past 3 games we've had so far. Some strong consistency coming through. Even looking onto that second page, I mean, it's not the most ideal, but it still doesn't hurt all that much just yet. FEINTED still being able to bring in those 5 kills. Rila Insider moving into that 10th spot with the 3 kills they were able to find. And that is, for me, a really healthy approach. Even though they went out in 15th place, you know, that is still a decent spot to finish in. Again, consistency is key, and that is essentially what the teams need to aim for if they want to maintain a strong position on that leaderboard.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Because you can end with hardly any placement points or 0 placement points. If you fought enough and you've had some success with that, you can do pretty well and still climb yourself up on it. This time around, the Miramar was very evenly spread. A lot of crazy good fighting as well. And I do want to see what this does to Slime now going into the last match of the day when it comes to Erangel in terms of boosting their confidence going forward. But DK, you're done for today. We're bringing Max back in because he's not allowed Miramar. He's only allowed the Erangels and Sanhoks to come in. So we'll have to see how he does when he comes back. I'm sure he'll be tilted. But chat, you know what to do. Moist Max. We'll see you in a bit.
5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Welcome back, everybody. And I just want to say to the PMCO Africa community that are watching the stream, thank you so much for the Moist Max spam, because he came back into this. Well, now you've now got a reply for me. Well done, Max. All right, that's fair play. But there's going to be no stopping it because chat agrees with me. And did you just flex? Did you actually?
Yeah, I got nothing, man. I tried, okay? I looked on camera, I was like, man, I look bad. But yeah, I tried, okay? I'll get there eventually. I'll be on your level soon. I'll try.
I told you, go gym a bit more. I know you're doing your rowing. You're killing it with that. You're looking good. But you gotta muscle up to fill the shirts back out a bit more before you flex, because they're just going to type more moist actions in chat if you keep doing it like that, Max. I'm sorry, mate. It's just going to keep happening. But you missed Miramar. Did you enjoy watching it at least,
I mean, it was a slight 4KT win, so I'm not going to argue. That was really fun to see. It's good to see them back in the swing of things, and especially, I mean, we're always talking about Storm, right? But I really want to say also, Aimer was doing fantastic that game. Yep. It was great to see him especially do well. I think they're the two big players of the team. And yeah, at the end, it was a very harsh game, and there was a lot of circles going away from teams, so teams had to adapt, and most of the teams in the lobby did so in really good fashion. So it was a very unorthodox kind of finish to a Miramar game where literally no teams had the advantage, but they played around it really well. So I was not disappointed. That was a good, simple game of Miramar that teams played really well.
Yeah, I like it when we start to see a bit more of the tactical strength and the smart plays come out, when it gets to these difficult moments. Because you can prepare as much as you want, but sometimes when you get a circle like that, you sit there and you're like, I don't actually understand the best way to do it. And it's always the one that thinks quicker on their feet. Yeah, it's like you have to mastermind real quick, because you can deal with many crazy circles, but when it's that open and there's also that little players, multiple teams with little amount of players in there, it's like one wrong move. You saw the grenade that went out to Aphelion Apex. It was like, yep, rip, no chance of it. He tries to run out of the hut thinking it's going to come to him, and they just pre-planned it perfectly that it was going to go out towards him. It mean that actually, we got to the final stage and we're starting to see the well-known Africa nades that come out, because we praised the African region on how on point the nades were, and they're back at it again, mate.
Yeah, the African utility is back in the swing of things. It is great to see that they've always been really strong when it comes to utility. And the other region that I remember that's really strong when it comes to utility is China. So if they got something on par with China, it's definitely their utility game, and we'll see if they can try and work on different aspects. But that circle there especially, it just goes to show how strong the macro knowledge of a team like Slime 4KT actually is, because they played edge of circle, and you saw that circle there especially. Going center was not an option. There was no strong position to fight from. What they did is, okay, we're down to a two-man team. We don't have a man advantage. What we're going to do is pick team by team, scout, get the intel, and eliminate them one by one. They did that on, I believe it was 3 teams before trying to move in forward. That was the perfect strat to take the win. Slime 4KT made it work out. Now we'll see if they can try and take a back-to-back win, because now they're back in. They're finally back into the gameplay. They didn't play the group stage, so now they're finally feeling a little bit more comfortable, it seems.
Yeah, and I want to see if the confidence stays high, right? If they're going to go out and take a lot of these early fights. But we're on to the final game of day 1 of the PMCO Africa Finals. And as always, we are born to win, as I welcome you all to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series, and we are about to get our groove on when it comes to this final Erangel game and see who will be able to grab that chicken dinner and how the leaderboards will look at the end of it, as I get to commentate this game with the amazing Moist Matt. I'm just killing Max
Stop
at this point.
it,
He's not
James.
even ready for it. You couldn't even hit the button in time, mate. You just you laughed, ran away, and then hit it afterwards.
Because when I laugh, I don't know why, it's like, it's a physical reflex on mine. When I'm laughing, I lean to the right, but my audio mix is to the left. So I have to like do a little bit of gymnastic over to reach over the button. And also I'm scared because I checked my phone and I got a notification saying you shared to me a post. And I don't want to look what it is because I'm scared of what you're going to share to me. It's pretty rare you share me stuff, so I'll have to look into it. But I don't know what to really expect going into that. Of course, looking at the playing path. And that's what I'm expecting, of course. I would not expect anything less than you, James. You're fine. You're cool, dude. But Eastern playing path this time around, so teams might have to try and adapt a little bit. We saw a lot of teams like to drop mostly over to the western coastline.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been seeing some great games today. Aphelion Apex, of course, did fall off a little bit after that great first game. They're still currently standing in first place, 2 points ahead of Slime 4KT. But one team that I've been heavily impressed here with, James. Oh, okay, Eastern this time. It's going to be KHK. They have been consistent, still with 0 wins to their name, and they are in third with 31 points. They keep on this track like that and maybe find themselves a few wins throughout these 4 days. They could end up being first and going right to the EMEA Championship.
Yeah, and this is it, right? KHK stay consistent throughout the group stages as well. They don't need to grab every single win. You can just have a couple of chicken dinners and always stay. What do we say? Like within top 6, for example, and a few kills alongside each game. You rack up enough points where you always keep yourself in contention to take a big win here. And that is something that a lot of teams struggle with, right? Because at any point, you might find yourself going into an engagement you don't want to handle, or you don't know when to disengage and maybe make the wrong choice. It just seems like KHK, they definitely find the good answer in a lot of situations here. It's not often we see them go out early. We saw it throughout the group stages, and already in the opening 3 matches today, they have continued on with it. Now, Gun is certainly a team that we've come to know and love and had some good performances in here. Let's see if maybe they can find some success this time around coming into Erangel. Certainly a team that knows and already understands how to deal with a lot of the pressure with it. But can they bring themselves some win here today? Now, we were talking about KHK, Max. They're on our screens right now. They were taking some shots at the 4KT boys as they start to go across the map and get to where they want to go. Already very early on trying to dive elsewhere. They grab themselves all the vehicles they need. But what is their plan now? They fought very early when it came to Miramar. Are they going to try and keep that same style? That's what I'm most interested in.
Of course, this is the map the team's got a lot more experience onto. You know the drops, and we saw especially that first game when it was me and DK, and we said that it is actually really good to see that we had no teams and no players actually dying, no casualties until I believe it was like, what, phase 2, phase 3 when it actually started happening. So it goes to show there's a lot of knowledge that has been shared around these teams and individuals, so it's great to see. Though this circle, from what we usually see, we've seen this circle happen a lot here, especially in the group stage, and also not only this PMCO, but last season's PMCO in the spring split. Teams are typically going to try and rotate around the northern side of farm / Milter and Shelter also. So they're going to centralize really quickly. We saw that happen in the first game. I expect that to happen somewhat right now also. But teams are still going to go pretty slow in the approach. As we have actually quite a lot of teams up north. I'm surprised. We've got MZR that's going to be in that position, Influence RRAGE Africa and Severny. It's great to see these positions are maybe not very popular with teams actually getting some use out of it and actually teams rotating and using them well, which I do want to give a little bit of a heads up, especially to MZR. That was a team that was not even supposed to make it here. The reason why they are actually in these finals is because we have a team that got disqualified in the name of Liquid Diamonds. So they have an opportunity, and they've been playing, I would say, they've taken a few good opportunities. They're still struggling a little bit, currently only 9 points to their name. But it is good to see that they're actually giving it their best shot, despite not being really, maybe fully prepared as much as the other teams.
But yeah, that's a really good point, right? When you are a fill-in team, the last thing you expect is to be called up to join the finals when you thought you didn't make it. So in one moment, you're like, yes, we got a shot. And the other moment, you're like, oh, damn, we didn't have the 4 days preparation. Like, we got to really catch up, boys.
You realize, just like, oh, no.
And the thing is, the good thing is no one's going to have expectations that like they're going to come through and just wreck everyone. But this is just another huge opportunity again. And this is the point I really want to stress to the community is like the fact that these games, playing official games is so key that like, even if you're not prepared, even not ready for it, you give it your all, you test out some new things, and it's just the opportunity which is what matters most. And you have to make the most of every opportunity, not just in PUBG Mobile, but in life in general.
I just thought of a really cool like ad for Oppo. It's like opportunity. I don't know. Is that bad or not? I think I would not be good at marketing.
Find yourself the best opportunity with the Oppo Reno 5 series to win your PUBG Mobile games.
See, it especially with your voice, it goes well. But you know, I think
we can make it work.
Something there.
Should we get into some sort of advertising? We'll just hit up Oppo and say, boys, come on. We can write your jingles, you know? We can add a bit
will be
of
our agent. Yeah. No, a little bit less moisture. I think we've got to have it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Don't we want to make sure they know that their phones are like also waterproof, you know, and super protected, so even Moist Max can hold it without issues?
Okay. DK, start sending emails right now. I know you're listening. DK, get in those emails, right? we'll get everything sorted out.
See?
And next season we'll have like $100,000 US prize pool for next year's PMCO. Oh yeah.
DK's writing. DK is going. Oh,
he's right. Oh,
he's ready. He's laughing, but he's ready.
Oh, he put a Pikachu with sunglasses emote. He's ready for business. He's a businessman, DK.
With like a pen, so it was writing.
Oh, no, sunglasses.
I'm old. My eyes don't work, so I'm just gonna say that you're right. I
boomer eyes, boomer hands.
Yeah, thanks.
But in a more serious note, though, we are seeing teams slowly do as I did call earlier, James, where they're going to centralize a little bit quicker here. This circle, there's still a slim chance, there's still opportunity they could go over to sort of Northgard Island, but with the water in play, I don't really have high hopes of that happening. So we'll see how things are going to go when we do hit phase 2 later on.
Yep.
I think we're still pretty calm right now. As we were looking at some profile pictures right earlier, and I think it's a play from KHK Esports. I think it's Zane that's got a pair of Crocs in his profile picture, which I don't know what to think of that. I think that's one thing you don't want in a profile picture is a pair of Crocs.
Maybe like when people get killed and they see that picture, they're like, "Oh man, like really?
I got killed by the Croc man."
Yeah. Would you not rock Crocs? You're not a Croc guy, Max?
I mean, I'm more of a flip-flop kind of guy.
Dude, like,
flip-flops.
I always wear like either sandals or also flip-flops, as you call them, or Crocs in the house. I don't wear the Crocs outside, but like they're really comfy.
Your next LAN event where you're like on a just put get the Crocs out there. Yeah,
sure, why not? We'll do the MEA Championship. I will desk host with my Crocs on. There you go. It's happening.
And I'll be beatboxing too, man. We'll have a great event. I'm going to beatbox. You're going to have your Crocs on.
All perfect.
We'll have an African team there too. Oh yeah. Man, I'm telling you, we got too many good ideas. 10,000 IQ on the side. KHK.
Ultimately, we're only entertaining ourselves, and all the viewers are just like, will these guys really do this? Do they need help? We do need a lot of help. If you watched the last EMEA Championship, we had a guy dressed as a panda, and we poked him with a stick because they weren't doing anything at the time. So yeah, we had. Well, I also did a rap. I wrote a rap, didn't I? That was interesting. I tried. I called it the Erangel state of mind. It wasn't that bad.
It was good. Eminem has nothing on you, man. He'll be scared to diss you. I'm telling you that much. He's not coming after you.
Oh, Max, I appreciate you, but you're a liar.
But a good liar, right? Yeah, come on.
Yeah, questionable.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think that's good, right?
It's you'll take it, right? It's better than being terrible at lying. At least you can lie about some things. But I just don't believe you on this one. In fact, we're looking at G3 is actually a team I wanted to point out, though, because obviously they had these string of chicken dinners. Was it 3 in one day? Obviously, things from right now, they're in 7th place. It's not bad. They got a total of 23 points after the 3 games. But if they could have one of their big days where they get a couple of chicken dinners, their confidence starts rising. Obviously, they could be a team that's in contention for that first place in it. Did you guys make a prediction on who you thought would take the win in this thing?
Ooh, I haven't actually talked about that with DK. I'm going to go personally with Slime 4KT because I really enjoy them. But if I had to go for one of the new up-and-coming teams, I'm going to go for Team Lag. Personally, that's the one I'm going for.
So for me, I would go with Slime 4KT or Gun. I like Gun. I like that. Well. But for now, we're going to look at Lag, who you just picked out. Cast a curse on them for sure, because Leader was already being shot at quite heavily. Luckily, was able to escape. RRAGE don't really have the position to fight from as actively here, and Frozen's quite split up from the rest of them. That's a really good nade, but it doesn't quite connect. Looks like it just went and got savaged by the wall when it came to that one. Frozen's gone down. Rage fighting pretty much against 2 teams here. Lag looking out of the windows to see what they can find. And Rage may have bit off more than they can chew in this one, because I don't see a way out of it. Slay now also on the fall. And another nade comes through. But he's not going to be able to find the kill, and it's just Nox that went out there.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is a position you never hold in this compound when you're trying to breach it, because if a team is right where currently Rila Insider currently stand, There's no escape. And Pala exactly gets picked up by the M16, which is a fantastic weapon at this type of range. You're hitting about 100, 150, maybe 200 meters tops. So it's absolutely going to land every single shot. And Lag will easily get himself a leader back on his 2 feet. And this is also Lag defending this as a 3-man. You have yourself Berserker join just a little bit late, and yet they defend it properly. But the main unfortunate point here, I would say, James, they get 0 kills out of that. All the kills went over to Rila Insider. They're up to 4. Lag currently standing in 5th. Those kills could allow them to get closer to that first place at the end of today.
Now, I know we were talking about Slime and the fact they were getting aggressive, right? They are at the moment going to be one of the last teams that rotate on in. It's them and MZR that seem to be the slower ones into it. They're going to come from this western side, but obviously they took their cars, they went looted up elsewhere. They wanted for a bit of a drive. You already mentioned that it was quite a heavily favored plane path that doesn't really work for them. A lot of teams going to have to go over towards that western side. So now I want to see how they approach this circle with not having too much knowledge of where teams sit. Maybe say send Storm like he usually does to scout forward and try and go from there. But we know one thing is they will be looking for these fights. Maybe trying to look at the third parties in there. But we have also seen, just in the last 2 games alone, a lot of kills not being stolen as such. But, you know, like they'll get the knock from one team and then someone else will pick it off. So teams are pushing the limits a little bit further now, right? They're willing to take some more risks now we've got to this final stage. They've upped the ante.
Hey, when you only have 4 days of play, every single kill and point will count. So if you have an opportunity of taking a kill away, do it. Like, literally, there is no issue with that. If the team is too slow to confirm them, that's on them, not on you. Go for it. Confirm the kills while you still can. That is just a good mark of a team that knows exactly what they should try and aim for. That's KHK. Up in farm over here, going to be showing it was Drogons. Drogons did end up taking himself a strong win over there on the map of Sanhok. I was going to say Moist, but I was going to be like, no, maybe not, but I do it. We're fine. We're cool.
You've become very accustomed to the word.
Yes, that's the thing. Until, to be honest, it does help out. So thank you to you, James, DK, and also chat, because I despise that word. And I'm actually cool with it. It's like therapy, but free, which is by default way better than real therapy. So thank you.
I'm going to send you an invoice.
No, I should have shut my mouth, man. Do you know?
Saving money? What do you mean, Max? You've been paying for this from the very beginning.
Every day? Oh, no. That's a day rate right there. That's gone.
Now, this circle shifted quite far out, just over towards Milta. It is going to mean that Storm and the rest of the boys of 4KT are still going to have to be driving on forward. They only just made it into the circle. Damage isn't really a problem at this point. They can now nicely outrun it. But where I said they were liking to get aggressive and fight, now they're going into it where it's going to be heavily contested. They're probably going to meet some teams on the rotation and how they want to fight it all out here. So for me, depending on what rotation they want to take in, that's something to certainly keep an eye on. But G3, Laments them looking to try and find some success, trying to find some chicken dinners. Aphelion Apex, they have been on point over and over again. Sicko does get tagged up a little bit, but it's not too bad. 2 players of Young Thunder are pinned down. And True, well, he might be done for. Romeo and Superior, they've got your beautiful car, Max, that you'll never get your hands on. And they may just skedaddle and say, I don't want anything to do with this. I don't believe I'll be able to res my teammates. But maybe Superior thinks he can. This is... I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it.
This is one of the hardest rotations, though. And Rila Insider trying to pull off the exact same rotation. Luckily enough, though, it doesn't seem like they're going to be suffering too much damage. Sheep will be taking a little bit of damage on his own body right now. Stoney already going to be rolling out. Get himself the DP28 in hand. They get himself to the proper ridge line where you got a nice slope to play onto the beach. So you're not going to be able to get shot down too quickly. But typically, I'm going to recommend this to everyone that's watching this and that wants to apply this maybe in their own games. Avoid this beach like the plague. It is not fun. The best way to do it is to potentially just swim or pick up a boat from Novo and rotate to the eastern side down south of Milta. That is the best way to do it. Otherwise, here you're going to suffer some big damage, big casualties potentially, and we've seen teams that are trying to make it work out, suffering big time. So, unfortunately, they played, and they are losing big time right now.
Yeah, Rila Insider are taking your strategy. One player had the car, ran across while the other shots were happening between Young Thunder and Aphelion Apex. The rest of them slowly swimming their way to hopefully some sort of success, at least in their eyes. But still, the moment you appear on that beach, it is going to become difficult. And Ro, well, he's playing the submarine tactic right now. You can't see me. I'm hidden underwater. Eventually might try and move. But like you mentioned, it's so open. It's so exposed. It becomes very difficult. Superior didn't find success in reviving his teammates. Now he's going to join back up with Romeo. Oh, what a beautiful car. Just love looking at it.
It's never going to end.
Don't you wish you had it, Max?
Wow, yeah. I know. I think I never talked about this. I would like to have this skin. I think it's pretty cool. I rarely touch upon this. You know, I think it's never been brought up until now. But yeah, it's pretty cool. They're gonna be actually pretty lucky with a circle. They're gonna go straight for the fields of Milta. Don't know if they want to commit to that. I would potentially go for the edge of Milta up north. I think that would be really strong to see the teams just coming in through from the northern edge, away from the Shelter Mountain and Prison Mountain up north. I think that'll be good. But now I'm looking at FEINTED. They're going to have a lot of attention thrown their way. You're going to have Lag, you're going to have Drogons, you're going to have Slime 4KT. They need to be fully ready because this is a position with a lot of information potential. That means by default it is very valuable, so teams might be thinking of breaching it. I'm talking about breach. Young Thunder, they went a little bit further away looking for a fight, but Influence Range Africa are there as a 4-man. Young Thunder are down to 2. They do not have priority on this fight.
It's a waiting game to see if they can get this done. They don't have the numbers for it either. And Influence Rage Africa is certainly a deadly team when it comes to getting into these fights. There's no element of surprise that's going to be found here because they are ready and waiting for it. Still, 15 teams and 56 players alive in it. Circle is mightily small now. We've got further up into it. Ooh, lots of damage coming out to Superior. He needs to be careful. You poke out too open and you will expose yourself. Not in a positive way there. Romeo is just hiding. There's a bit of smoke's giving him covers. Ooh. INF need to be careful as well. If they push into it, they can also leave themselves exposed to be shot at by the other teams. There's just so many points where it's flat terrain here that you can just see people from afar. If you're in a building, you're going to get a good shot onto them easily.
It's not too easy because even if you do win this fight, right, you got to move away from this spot. And seeing how teams are currently positioned on the outskirts of Milta and potentially even in Milta Fields, I'm not too hopeful. A team actually winning this fight, then moving into the circle in a strong spot. So you want to make sure that if you are INF, you win this fight quickly, get those 2 kills, and remain as a 4-man crew and hold on to your utility, especially smokes. That will be so important for the next phase. So I'm hoping that they are starting to get mentally prepared for that. That might be coming up soon. Sully has to get rezzed up. Hopefully it will be happening in just in time. Yeah, Superior making a lot of noise, but no nades are getting exchanged, which is surprising me a lot, but Superior will not go any further. Now the nades are coming out. That's why things are starting to get a little bit dicey onto Romeo, potentially.
Oh, no! They didn't spot it! Romeo tries to go in for the finish off. He will get one, but can he back away?
Nope.
Oh, he's going to be finished off there. More shots taking place. Poor Vindex, though. He felt so confident going out for it. He had no idea. Slippery snake. Not even in the grass, just out in the open.
That was very sus.
His position was known.
Yeah. Oh, a team's going to breach his
Hello,
gun? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, well, Hans is going to have to move away from that one, but there's no escape, unfortunately, Ainsley. You're going to have to make it back up, and there's still that one player superior from Young Thunder just chilling and hopefully avoiding the entire fight, as he's going to be remain undetected. Gun have no idea he's there. He could remain alive while the other side of INF actually get picked up. This is huge for him.
Gunner fighting strong as well. INF just down to 2 players now. Inspector trying to fight back and give himself some numbers, but there's still enough cover to get these revives on. Superior is just chilling, living the dream, start to finish. Sully will find himself getting 1 player in here, but they need a hell of a lot more than this to come into play.
Oh, wait, go confirm it. Oh, he doesn't know that they're healing in the staircase. Pounds is going to go for an off angle. I like this, but he's solo. He's taking a 1v2. Let us slow it down a little bit to wait for your team to come back. Okay, that was a big pre-fire.
Yeah, big pre-fire, and I guess he expected the player to potentially be inside, but that's not going to happen, and now he can be overwhelmed and run down. They hear the footsteps. They know exactly where he's going. Pounds is on the hunt. Doesn't want to risk it on his own. I like that. Don't take too far of a challenge. Oh, dear.
Back in Milta. Not fun.
What did you say? Don't go in Milta as well?
I mean, going to Milta is fine if you're playing the edge, but now it would be okay to focus and capitalize to the center of the compound. I like it. Gun regroup. They're not pushing too quickly, and now they're going for that 3v2.
They want to play the numbers advantage. They will start off with the kill onto Sully. Inspector jumps straight out. Down on the ground as the players look out for him. He's trying to get the reload on Plaza. He had no idea. The side swipe comes through. And where is Superior? Is he still alive?
He's coming in, third party.
Oh! Superior wants a bit of a cleanup duty. What on earth?
I was talking to the kill feed if it works out for him, but now...
That's what I've been looking at. I'm like, what's going on?
I don't
came
know
away
yet.
from that. We went to MZR into what they're doing up against FEINTED now.
Okay. All the push is happening onto lag right now. Flying 4KT. I love the angle from Cow 77. Well, Fex is still a little bit too deep. We'll try and jump on down and put himself in a little bit of a better coverage position. Get himself hopefully a first aid kit. Grenade's going to be exchanged from a distance. That could be a good one if he goes through the door, which I don't think it will. But now they're nade range. Just keep raining it down. Transform this compound in a mini red zone. FEINTED do get eliminated in 11th place. Now only 10 teams remain. Are they able to get the res up? Lag. Oh, leader's going to go down once more. They need to go for the push one right now. They have no other chance.
Oh, good shots did come back in return, but it won't net them a knock. Slime 4KT is staying strong. Okay. Nade's coming out at 0. Just about avoids it. Goes to pre-fire. Thinks he's being pushed. The lag players are so low. They just can't be touched now. They need to get the meds going. But at any point, 4KT players could push on forward and take a fight up against them. Storm having to get himself medded up. Lots of utility being used here as well. Fantasy, just a sliver of health there. This is tough. Oh, I love this. I love this from Storm.
Yes. Drop.
Do it. Do it. We both want him to jump down.
Execute order there. 66. Oh, there you go.
There. Doesn't even need to jump down. Able to do the damage. He'll now die out to the blue as well. Oh, Zero, you're not running away either, son. Storm is on point and ready for you to run across. More kills going the way of Slime 4KT. They just won Miramar. They're feeling confident. They've still got 4 players up in this. Lots of shots coming out towards them. They do need to be careful, but Storm, you don't want to tank too much of that blue damage, my friend.
Yeah. Taking that high ground position, though, was fantastic. When you know where the enemy players are, getting a position at an advantage spot like that is so pivotal to be able to not only get more information, which he was doing, trying to prepare for the next circle rotation, but also trying to get more pressure on the teams around you. So really good execution from Storm and able to get himself a few kills up his team's sleeve. Fantastic. Aphelion Apex thinking of trying to move on too, but they got to cross potentially over the road, which is definitely something they're not going to be too stoked about. And very similar for the side of Rila Insider. They have to move out, but I think that Rila Insider and Aphelion Apex are going to have a little bit of back and forth because there's not a lot of space right now. Most buildings are currently occupied, so you know that they're going to have to breach this one full-heartedly.
Big push going through, but too many teams, too many players. All the shots came out towards him. Instantly goes down, and that becomes problematic for him. 11 kills right now for Gun. Sorry, G3 even. I'm looking at Gunner's name and said Gun, obviously. Losing my mind and looking at it. But G3, could they be getting that chicken dinner? Could this be the kickstart for these guys at the end of day 1? They're in a very good spot for it as well.
Got to keep in mind, last PMCO, they were 3rd place. They are not coming in for another 3rd place or 2nd place. They're coming for, they want to be first at the end of this. They want to make a statement that they've improved since the spring split. Now coming into the full split, they want to prove that they are the best team in the African region. And so far, they definitely got position proving that that might, in fact, be the case. Players are going to be claiming a few lives. Going to be the case for Roller. Drogons get eliminated in 9th. They're going to move out. Sicko and Stony. They popped away by Rowe. And he gets it done through the smoke. Not going to be able to confirm it right now, but now only Stony is left remaining. But he heard that shot from Rowe. He's going to try and slow him down and hopefully take those shots. But that smoke is denying so much information away. Stony has no idea where he is.
Bro needs to be careful as well, though. Stony doesn't want to be able to get the drop on him. He can hear it. He's getting ready for it.
He's healing. He has no clue.
Oh.
He's jumping out?
Oh. Oh.
He made some noise.
Yeah.
Bro's like, what the hell?
Oh, no! No! He thought he could blow him up, hiding behind the car, but Stony confused the hell out of him. Left him dazed and confused of what was going on, and he took full advantage of that. Stony still living the dream, still picking up kills, but escaping from this is going to be very difficult, Max.
I feel like in one of those infiltration games where it's like, there's a noise, it's like alert, like, oh, someone there? And then a few seconds after, it's probably just the wind. It's fine. We'll move
like
on.
the Metal Gear Solid thing.
Yeah.
Huh?
It was Stony all along.
Oh, it was nothing. You just needed Stony in a cardboard box and we'd be on perfect point for him to meme this out.
It would be a cool
just a
crossover,
box,
actually.
And then it shoots me. What?
What was that? Okay.
Ooh, aim has gone down in the meantime for 4KT. We didn't quite catch that or where it went down, but that will obviously 14 kills now for G3.
They were center for the longest time. They've just been keeping everyone at arm's length. It's fantastic. And look at Gunner. Very similar position to what Storm had earlier. Once again, getting the information, he knows where the teams are. And even if you do go for the smoke play, you just chuck Somali, chucks a nade. That's going to zone you out quickly of those smokes. And they're going to capitalize and get so many kill points from that. Aphelion Apex get eliminated. But this might just be G3 Temper's game.
And they just got the crate as well.
Ooh.
Not only a ton of kills and whatever they've picked up from the dead bodies they've eliminated, but also getting the crate. Plenty of smokes that we saw him just place. The utilities key. Oh, 6 guard. He saw it. He knows what's up, but can he deal any damage onto it? They've got this 2-2 split going on. They've got a nice spread over it overall, and they're just playing the angles very well. They're not over-aggressive with it.
Oh, that's a great weapon to have, the Groza. It doesn't have an increased ammo capacity, only got 30 bullets. 40 would have been absolutely amazing. Look at that, once again. Gunner is just holding everyone off KHK away. KHK will get eliminated in 7. Still, few decent positioning point coming their way. Not quite enough to make sure they can be in the top 3. Oh. How do you make it out? Berserk B gets picked up at the end. He's going to be spotted out by Slime 4KT. They're looking for the push potentially. Going to go for a neighbor. They saw Gun on the rooftop. There's not a lot of hiding spots there. That grenade, maybe? Oh my god.
Oh! How is he alive?
He got the first aid at the last second too. Right after the nade damage. He's up to 75%. Another nade. Big.
Oh.
There's no escape. You can't escape from that. G3 have a mission and they are going in hard.
They need to be careful though. They don't want to overextend in a position like this. 6 God jumping up, taking a few pre-fire shots. Berserk's very close to him as well, remember. I like that they're covering. Oh, Berserk! He's coming to offset it. 1 does get knocked. 6 God has to move around. Doesn't want his teammate to go down, but now he's under fire and exposes himself from the side. 2 G3 players go down, and 4KT are still alive and up in it. More nades are going on up, and they need to be so careful. That Molly's not going to spread out to Flacco, but he can't bring his teammates up. You've done incredibly well. You're top 6 with 16 kills, but now you may be in a world of hurt.
G3 just fallen from grace. Flacco, 1 nade. That's a good one. That's a banger. And that's a banger indeed. Flacco bites the dust. Buden will be the only remaining player for G3 Temper currently. And he's going to go back to the rooftop, hopefully get the rest. But they know someone is up there. Another nade, another molly, and that's pretty much GG. He's going to smoke it up.
Most interesting.
Oh, okay. That was a nade.
Oh, the nade into us. Okay, I like it. G3 Temper out in 4th place. 4KT, you are just playing this to perfection right now. They may not have all the kills, but they've got the big brain plays. You even saw it, right? You see where Fex is now? They were sat in the corner of that, expecting the G3 players to push around. Now, Berserk helped them and saved them because they didn't have much health. They couldn't med up. But they were basically playing on the fact that maybe he'll get one of us, but we'll just refrag it, you know? So they are looking for the smart plays in here. Now, Mezexis, they're up top. We've got 3 players up and 2 up the top at the moment. 1 on the floor here in Matrix.
Grows up.
Oh, and he runs straight on out. Instantly finished off. Slime 4KT, their adrenaline is pumping. Their hearts are beating. And they believe they can go for back-to-back chicken dinners here. They've got a good chance of doing it as well. But it's to try and flush out these Mezexis players from the top. This high ground advantage is going to be huge.
Yeah, their rooftop of Mezexis is, unfortunately for Slime, a little bit higher. So Mezexis have a huge opportunity to get a little bit of an edge. They're fine. I think they understand that. That's why they're going to be smoking up that rooftop. Zeke is going to be spotted out. That's it. Him knocked away. Mercury also will follow in his footsteps. 1-on-1. This is the 3v1v1 unless the rest comes on through. And known Slime 4KT, if they have the advantage, they're going to strike while the iron is hot. But this time they're actually taking it relatively slow. It's trying to take a bigger spray onto Rila Insider, but they're not able to confirm it. And that's 2 reses coming back. Now we're back into a 3v2v2. Rila Insider and Mezexis are still holding on strong.
There's a small chance. Oh, no. Storm. We didn't catch that. It didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Oh, I guess it's smoke. It's fine. It's planned.
I definitely don't think that was planned. I think he was trying to smoke their vision out, but you know, okay, Max will let him have it. Oh, Fex.
Give it to him.
So take a few pop shots. They're going to try and make this work. Orc needs to be careful though, because you don't want to just handle this completely on your own, because if they both peek you, then obviously they're going to be able to do a lot of damage on towards you. Trips found himself going down. Storm, sneaky as you like. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's perfect. The knock comes through. He hasn't got in to finish him off just yet. Runs around the corner, does the damage, and Storm, once again, coming up huge. Slime 4KT are going for the win. They're going to overwhelm Rila Insider, and they will find themselves with a 24-point game. Back-to-back chicken dinners, and they end the day in style. They found their confidence. They found their form. and they dominated once again. Max, it feels like not much has changed since spring split to now.
Yeah, I think that if you're a new viewer of the African PMCO and you haven't watched the last season, you might be thinking, oh, these guys were overhyping Storm very heavily at the start of the show. Well, now you know why. Now we got concrete proof as to why Storm is an absolute beast, because he pulls off the most aggressive knock-knock jokes I think I've ever seen in my life and picks it up at the end on Mezexis. It was such a good execution, yet so hard to play and pull off because Mezexis, as you talked about it, James, they had that little bit of an oversight, a little bit of a better high ground position. So they had so much good information, but those smokes made everything work hand in hand for their team. And Storm at the end was the one to actually create that situation, got himself the double knock onto the rooftop. And the moment you get rid of Mezexis, is only Rila Insider, and that's a very easy push for them as they do have the man advantage. There you go. Back-to-back win on the very first day of the finals. I'm pretty much assured that they're going to be standing in first place in the standings after this. And this is the Storm and the Slime 4KT that we were hoping to see in these finals.
And Max, I'm going to message Storm after this. I'm going to say, was that smoke intentional, bro? Like, were you trying to smoke them out? Because the smoke went down on the floor, right? And it did help him sneak in to the building. So I'll give him that. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't intentional. We'll have to find out.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I'm trying to be cool with it, okay? I'm just like, you know, it's like when you're playing your own games and you just have a nade that goes wrong way. It's like, it's lag. It's not mine.
Yeah, just a hand error, you know?
Just playing the game. There you go.
It's just one of the moist Mac moments.
Yes, one of those. Yes.
I win again. This is fine.
I delete. Oh wait, stop it, James. I still had it. I thought I deleted it actually, but I still got it.
You did well. You did well. Oh mate, what a game! Let's take a look at the overalls after day one. 2 chicken dinners for Slime to end the day with, and they are 20 points clear of anyone else already. 70 in a day, 42 placement points, 28 kill points. And despite Aphelion Apex starting off really well at the beginning of the day with 21 kills, the rest of it didn't kind of go in the way they would want. Still, second place is hugely respectable, right? Never going to take that away from them.
Yeah.
But a strong start and not maybe the finish they would have wanted with this. Lag up there, who you mentioned as well, up in 6th place at the moment. G3 up there in 3rd. Gun not within the top 8 just yet. We'll have to wait and see where their actual position will end. But wow, you know, momentum really is a thing when it comes to PUBG Mobile, Max. Slime just proved it.
Yeah, really, it's looking fantastic. But unfortunately, when you're going over to the second page, you're seeing teams that were expected to do great heading into these finals, struggling a little bit. After fine, the point is, it's only day one of these finals. Still got 3 more days of play, 12 more games to go. I understand it is still a living chance for these teams to do well, but after day 2, that's when teams will start to settle in a overall spot, and it will be really hard to move out of that position. So the earlier, the better. If you're currently on the second page, tomorrow, you want to change that. I'm looking at Gun. I'm also looking at Blackjack Esports that I was not expecting to be on the second page at the end of today. Tomorrow, they need to have a drastic shift in how they play. Otherwise, they're going to be locked in that second page, and with the only 8 games remaining, it will be really hard for them to move out of that bottom 8.
Yes, it will, but first day, and you know what? I'm just happy to see this kind of play because it wasn't just crazy kills, and it wasn't just like, oh, people having a good game that worked in their favor because they had the circle the whole time. This was some real smart plays coming out. The kill stealing, I'm a big fan of because, you know, you got to take every little advantage you can to try and grab those extra points. It could just be 1 point that separates you from winning or losing, you know, in terms of actually how the points work out at the end. You would always hate to see it. Like, I would hate to be a team that looks at the overall standings at the very last day and you're like, I was 1 point shy. If I just killed him earlier, you know, all the things that just come into your mind, Max. But what a way to kick off the finals, mate.
Yeah, it was an amazing start. I was not expecting our first day to be this explosive. We started off the first game with a 20-kill game bomb coming out from Aphelion Apex. Then we had a back-to-back win from Slime 4KT that came into this as a very big favorite. I'm happy. I thought we were going to slow our way into it, but no, we're just going to start off really strong, which is great to see. And especially tip for Blackjack, you know, currently on the second page, might want to change that profile picture of the Crocs. It might help a little bit heading into day 2, and you might be able to get in the top 8.
Well, let's see how it all goes down. We'll be back, as always, tomorrow at the same time. 4 more games coming your way for the PMCO Africa Finals. You guys won't want to miss it because, as you saw, it was absolutely fantastic just on our opening day, and it's only going to get better from here. Chat, thank you for always being fantastic. Don't forget to spam Moist Mac, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Stop it, James.
Oppo Reno 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.